Hello, this is just a check on people online. Are you able to hear us? Hello.
Yes, I could be able to hear you.
I can hear you, Bala.
Okay, thank you.
I can hear you. Yeah. Bala? So, this is Bala.
A few words we are checking. We just wanted to confirm if
Yeah.
your voice is also getting.
Is this the center of the? Is this the center of the stage?
This is actually to the right end.
Okay.
Here's the laptop.
Yeah. I think this is.
Now it's the center.
Yeah.
Yes.
The center of the stage.
This is good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Check like this, whether we are able to see the voice. Yeah, so the letters to okay.
Can anyone speak? Whoever is online, just a few words. We just have set up the audio. Hello.
Yes, sir. Want to do some check?
Yeah.
Hello?
We're able to hear you.
Okay. Yeah.
We just doing the round of checks to make sure your audio is heard. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
दूसरा चाबी कम से
Yeah. Sure. Sure. Ghost, right? Ghost access. Yeah, fine. What about ghost? We can go ahead.
Then you always know how will I move it.
Below the record local files. I just need to check the next episode. You can start. Co-host access. Co-host? Chaitanya, co-host access. I'll give you this information. Co-host
I think Arun, உங்கள் app நீங்க தான் host. நான் co-host, மத்தவங்க நான் co-host ஆக்க முடியாது. சரி. ஓகே, அப்ப நீங்க சைத்தன்யா co-host ஆக்குங்க.
Sound check. Apologies for it. Greetings to fellow Toastmasters. Greetings to fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm Chaitanya, the Sergeant at Arms for the 600th milestone meeting. Let me, for the benefit of guests, let me tell you how this Toastmaster public speaking community evolved here. So in October 1934, a group of men assembled by Dr. Ralph C. Smith met in the basement of YMCA at Santa Ana, California. The purpose of this club was to afford practice and training in the art of public speaking, and also to promote sociability and good fellowship amongst its members. By the year 19, soon some women and men also wanted sought interest and help from other members to start their own clubs. By the year 1930, a federation was necessary to set up and manage the coordinated activities of this club, and also to expand the coordinate the activities of the club across the members which have been expanded. And by the year 1930, there was this also expanded to other countries like Canada and New Westminster, who expressed their interest, and that's when this organization became Toastmasters International. Before starting the meeting, here are some codes of conduct. Kindly check if your mobile is in silent or switch off mode. Please, members are requested to come in professional attire. When the speaker is talking, please don't interrupt the speaker as it might distract the speaker. And please put yourself on mute if you're not speaking. And please turn off your video if you're stepping out of the meeting. Speakers who come forth, please refrain from speaking on sex, religion, and politics. It's time to start the meeting. All Toastmasters meeting are started and ended by one person called the presiding officer. And today's presiding officer is a IT professional who owns 19 years of experience, and he's currently working with a telecom MNC. Beyond work, he's very curious towards politics and history. He reads a lot of literature books, especially Tamil literature. Please join me in welcoming the vibrant president, our new president of Wordsmiths, Toastmaster Chidambaran.
Thank you. So we'll actually begin with the installation ceremony and address from our area director, Toastmaster Sridhar and Nat. So to get all this process started, I invite Toastmaster Bala and Toastmaster Anisha to have the proceedings initiated.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chidambaran. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Today marks a very special moment and an exceptional moment in the journey of Chennai Wordsmiths. Chennai Wordsmiths has been in the running, or Chennai Wordsmiths has been at the forefront of excellence for close to 15 years. And it is the time to celebrate. And Chennai Wordsmiths, as I said, is about to cross a magical milestone. And we here are there to recognize the efforts of the club and the club's efforts in transforming the lives of many individuals. We warmly welcome everyone to our 675th milestone meeting of Chennai Wordsmiths. And coincidentally, today we'll also have the swearing-in ceremony of the new executive committee of Chennai Wordsmiths. And a special note of thanks to all our district officials who have spared time in their busy schedule for gracing this occasion.
Excellence, being the best, requires a lot of enthusiasm and energy, where together is called exuberance. Exuberance, being as a part of all the club members, has given way to the constant elevation of the club as well as the members themselves. Thus, reflecting on the club spirit, the theme of the milestone meet today is excellence, exuberance, elevation.
Okay, to get us started in today's session, I'm going to be calling a very special person to install the new executive committee of Chennai Wordsmiths and to also deliver the area director address. The person whom I'm talking about is a well-renowned person in the circles of Toastmasters, and he has 30 years of business leadership experience in Indian and multinational companies, and he has also been a member of the Human Resource Department of Biotechnology, which comes under the Ministry of Science and Technology. And when I did ask him what he loves the most, and this was his answer, he loves to public speak, and then public speak. And may I request Toastmasters and guests to put up your hands to welcome our area director, Sridhar Ramanathan, to install the new executive committee and as well as deliver his speech. Thank you.
It is customary to start any presentation with a welcome and end it with a thanks. But on the special occasion, I think it's only appropriate for me to start with the thanks. I owe my thanks to many people, and if I have to name each one of them, it's going to be endless. Not long ago, but very long ago, I started my journey in Toastmasters, and you can say that I'm at least 675 weeks old as a Toastmaster, because I was there when Toastmasters and Wordsmiths Club was inaugurated, and I was the demo speaker in the Wordsmiths first meeting as such. Now I'm standing here on the same stage as an area director. For the first ever time, I'm stepping into the leadership role in the Toastmasters fraternity. If there is a word that is common to what I actually have to associate with public speaking and to the area director role that I have, is deliver. I think whenever people have to come and stand here to communicate and speak, the objective, any person who has joined or come into this fraternity, is to deliver. Either you deliver a speech, or as a leader, you actually deliver your responsibilities. And one important point which I came across when I attended the district officer training program is something about membership experience, which our CGD was talking about. I think over the last so many years, one thing I've definitely gained in Toastmasters is experience, right? Because it comes as a default. If you're going to spend more time, you don't need to even actually qualify with anything. You spend more years, you can call yourself as an experienced person in whatever you do. So as a Toastmaster, I'm an experienced Toastmaster. But that is an adjective. But at the same time, what is very important is to actually give an experience to people. And that is what communication is all about, right? So when you're making a good speech or when you're delivering a good speech, what is very important is to how do you have that as an experience for you as a speaker and for others who are listening as an audience or for them as to what is the experience that they have. So similarly, when I am here standing as a leader, what is very important is not the experience, not just the experience that I've got over so many years in Toastmasters, but also what is the experience that I probably would expect the members to have out of the responsibility that I have and how I will be able to deliver. So it is all about the experience that you all should have. That really is my responsibility, and I think that's the expectation you all can have from me. And in Toastmasters, the most beautiful thing is, I think other than Ralph Smedley, that's what I was talking to the XCOM also last week. Other than Ralph Smedley, there is no one single individual who's known in the fraternity. Right? There are so many people who contribute to this fraternity, who passionately put in a lot of efforts, deliver so many things in this fraternity, and have brought this fraternity to a different level over the last 98 years or so. But there's only one person who's actually recognized for all the efforts so many years. But the rest of them keep contributing, and we keep recognizing their efforts. But it is a journey that people will come and go, they'll play a role, and then keep moving on. Right? So that way, I think the fraternity has a unique trait. What I should say is, whether it is communication or leadership, you actually have manuals and framework, which is very clearly said, and all what we have to do is just go and deliver. And that's the most important thing. So with that, I would like to now welcome you. I started with the thanks, and I want to welcome. Before I welcome the new XCOM that is there, I just want to welcome the district leaders once again, the immediate past district director Satish, Mohan, and many others. If I missed any other name, please pardon me. And of course, one person whom I owe a lot is DTM Ninajan ma'am. And whatever Toastmasters fraternity, because when it comes to Toastmasters, she's my mom. And that's how I look at it, because when I delivered, she delivered me. That's how I should say. Thank you so much, mom. Thanks for that. And recently, maybe a while ago, when I was watching a cricket match one day, somebody walked in and asked me, what is the score? And I said, 2 more overs and India needs 40 runs to win. Then he said, 40 runs in 2 overs, how is it possible? Then he asked me one more question, who's playing? I said, Dhoni is playing. Then he said, it's possible. So one thing I realized that day is, it doesn't matter what has to be scored, but the key question is who's playing, right? And the key question today, when every member who is sitting here and every member who is online have to understand one thing. Whatever the goal that you've set for yourself, or whatever is the goal that we as collectively as a club is setting to achieve in this term, what is very important is not about the goal, it is about who's playing. And I'm going to introduce a team of players who will actually lead a big way and then help you to deliver, because we know who's playing. And when I call each one of them on stage to get installed, you will realize that these are people who actually are the Dhonis and maybe Kohlis and Rohits and any name that you want to call, who actually have contributed significantly in as much time that they have been associated with Toastmasters, whether they're just 1 year old or they have been quite senior in the fraternity as such. So that's very, very important. And I've seen it over the last 9 days of my experience as an area director. And I've been talking to the members here. And last week, I just told them saying that, why don't some of you come to my house? And they came as a battalion to my house actually. And then I told them you can use my room, like office room, to actually join the meeting here. But they actually had a war room set up, some 6 computers, and everybody started doing so many things. And the most underlying thing here is that the kind of passion that they exhibited, and in between to challenge their skills and their passion, the power went off also in between, right? And then Jyoti ma'am took over and continued the meeting till we came back. But what I'm saying is, I saw every single minute of passion. In fact, after almost 4 hours of that day's meeting, we were more energized than what we were in the beginning of the meeting as such. And that's one word, if I have to say, as passion that these people carry. So I would like to start the process of installation. And I also would like to thank each one of you who are present here to be present at this installation ceremony and the milestone of 670th meeting of Wordsmiths. So I'll start with the process of installation now. So the outgoing officers, please stand. Is there anybody who is the outgoing officers? At this time, you are discharged from all of your duties and responsibilities. Thank you for your excellent service to this club. So can we have a big round of applause for all these people? So I'm here to install the new officers of Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club. Briefly state to remind them of the challenges that lie ahead. Their collective challenge is to make this club one of the best in Toastmasters International. This will involve helping the members achieve their goals, as well as leading the club to President's Distinguished Club status this coming year. Will the new officer team please come forward and form a line, beginning with the Sergeant at Arms, ending with the President? So each officer is obligated to attend monthly club meetings or weekly meetings in this case, and monthly club executive committee meetings, attend club officer training held twice a year, and most importantly, prepare a successor for his or her respective office. So I'll now describe the challenges and key responsibilities for each officer, beginning with the Sergeant at Arms. So Sergeant at Arms, can you please hold the gavel? Toastmaster Chaitanya. As Sergeant at Arms, you arrange the meeting location, maintain club equipment in working order, ensure that adequate club supplies are available, set up the room before the meeting begins, make all relevant educational and PR materials are displayed, attend to special equipment needs, greet guests, and help the President make sure the meeting begins on time. Toastmaster Chaitanya, will you perform these duties to the best of your abilities?
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
Let's be loud and clear. Can I please pass on the gavel to the treasurer? Now we have Toastmaster Balasubramaniam. Toastmaster Balasubramaniam, as treasurer, you keep financial records and prepare the club budget. Announce when it's time for members to pay dues, explain the dues structure to members, collect dues, work with the secretary to ensure that the club submits dues promptly and on time to Toastmasters International World Headquarters. Toastmaster Balasubramaniam, will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
Yes, I will.
Stand there one step forward. Toastmaster Suresh Singh is our new secretary. Toastmaster Suresh Singh. As secretary, you maintain an accurate membership roster and attendance. Submit the new club officer list to Toastmasters International by June 30. Work with the treasurer to ensure that new member applications and dues get to Toastmasters International World Headquarters as soon as possible. Work with the treasurer to submit your club's renewal dues to Toastmasters International on time and provide the club with minutes of each meeting. Toastmaster Suresh Singh, will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
I will.
Thank you so much. Can you please pass it on to VP Public Relations, Toastmaster Anisha Bhuvan. Toastmaster Anisha Bhuvan, as VP of Public Relations, you attract visitors to the club through free publicity. Use a variety of means to promote the club in the community or in the organization that people belong to. Enlist your fellow members in PR activities, providing them with promotional materials and ideas for inviting guests. And regularly recognize member achievements with methods such as announcements, newsletters, emails, and articles that you submit for the newsletter. Toastmaster Anisha Bhuvan, will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. We passing the gavel to Toastmaster Arun as VP membership. Toastmaster Arun Kumar. As VP of membership, you lead the club's membership building efforts to achieve the membership goal of 8 new members. Maybe in your case, you can have more also. Yeah, 80. While the VP of PR motivates people to visit your club, you motivate the current members to invite guests. You promptly give new member applications and dues to the secretary and treasurer. You personally greet guests and provide them with the guest packets, including a membership application. You make sure each guest hears about the benefits of Toastmasters and gets a personal invitation to become a member and represent your club at area council meetings. Toastmaster Arun Kumar, will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
Yes, I will.
Thank you so much. So now we have Toastmaster Sweta as the VP of Education. Toastmaster Sweta, as Vice President Education, you gain commitments from members to set educational goals for themselves. You assure that club members are aware of the schedule of meeting roles, plan meetings that will assist members in meeting their goals, work with club members to keep meetings fun and well run, work with your members to ensure that they submit their applications for educational awards promptly, provide for educational topics at club meetings such as those from the successful club series and better speaker series, and you represent your club at area council meetings, and as the second highest ranking officer, preside over the meeting when the president is absent. So Toastmaster Shweta, will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
Yes, I will.
Thank you so much. And now we have the president, Toastmaster Chidambaran. Toastmaster Chidambaran, as president of Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club, you are the chief executive officer. Thus, you preside all club meetings and all meetings of the club executive committee. It is your challenge to see that this club adds new members and meets the needs of its current members to achieve their communication and leadership goals. And you establish a club climate that is supportive, stimulating, and rewarding to its members. And you realize that among the resources available to you are fellow club members, club officer team, club officers handbook, area director, division director, the website of the district, and all other district officers. Toastmaster Chidambaran, you hold the gavel as a symbol of the power and authority that your club has given you during your term of office. I am confident that you will use it wisely and with restraint. Toastmaster Chidambaran, as a member of Chennai Wordsmiths Club, as well as its leader, will you work with your executive team and club members to make Chennai Wordsmiths Club a President Distinguished Club this year?
Yes, I will.
Thank you so much. Let's give a few round of applause for all the members. I now request all members of Chennai Wordsmiths Club to stand, please. Your officer team has just pledged to serve this club to the best of their ability, to the best Toastmasters Club possible, and to meet the needs of all its members. Your club will need active participation from each member. That's each one of you. Do you as members pledge to work together with your officers team to make Chennai Wordsmiths Club the finest Toastmasters club it can be.
Yes, I will.
Thank you so much. Please take your seats. By the authority vested in me as your area director, it's my sincere pleasure to declare these Toastmasters officers installed in their club, respective club offices. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to all the office bearers of Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club for this term, July to December 2022. Now I hand the mic to Toastmaster Chidambaran for his incoming address. Thank you all.
So this is turning out to be a pleasant evening. Our district trio, DTM Aarti Mangalam ma'am, Program Quality Director DTM Gayatri, Club Growth Director Distinguished Toastmaster Mohan Krishnan, our immediate past District Director Toastmaster Satish Menon, our Area Director Toastmaster Sridhar Ranganathan, our Founder Charter Member DTM Neena John, past presidents of this esteemed Chennai Wordsmiths Club, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Thank you all for making it to this milestone meeting, the 675th meeting of Chennai Wordsmiths Club. Indeed, a proud privilege moment for me to take the office of president of this esteemed club on this August occasion. This club has been served by many illuminaries, illustrious people who had set the highest standards for this club. And I promise that along with my ExCom team, we will strive hard to maintain the standards that have already been set. Last week, along with my ExCom team, I had the opportunity to go to our area director, Toastmaster Sridhar Ranganathan's house. And as he mentioned, we had few conversations. And one of the points that really kept the thoughts ringing in our minds was, what can each one of us do to be a RAS medley for the other members in the team? How do we spread the word? How do we pass the energy to the other members so that each one can go on with their journeys? So with that thought, the kind of actions that we need to do, the kind of execution that we need to do, we all started thinking about it. Thank you very much, sir, for setting the North Star for us, for striving towards for our club for this term. So today's theme is excellence, exuberance, and elevation for this meeting. So let's talk about these three pillars one by one. First would be the excellence. We all know that the pursuit of excellence is a journey. Just imagine if I commit myself that I will strive to be 1% better than my yesterday's self each day, then at the end of an year, what would be my growth? Any guesses on that? It is 3,600%. That is the power of compounding. And the beauty of this is the growth is limitless. You can just keep growing. The second aspect is exuberance. The power of exuberance is captured beautifully in a small Zen story. In a village, there were two men who were working very hard. They decided to move to town for better business prospects. So on their journey, they decided to meet a monk and seek his blessings and also get his opinion. So the monk asked them, what do you think about the village that you are from? The first man stepped forward and said, sir, it is a very dry place. I really don't like anybody in that place. And there are no opportunities. I just want to get the hell out of there. And that's the reason I'm moving out. The monk gently smiled and said, son, I think the town is not going to be any better than the village that you are from. I would rather say, just stay put in your village. that is going to be better for you. The second person then stepped ahead and said, sir, I really like my village. I am from an agricultural background and I do a lot of agriculture. I'm very happy. I have so many relations in this place. I cherish all of them. But at this stage of my career, I am looking for better opportunities, and that is the reason I'm moving to a town. So hearing this, the monk said, son, you are going to find the town as interesting and as exciting as you did in the village. So go without any inhibitions and embrace it. So this story just captures how our positive energy, the cheerfulness, the exuberance can actually rub on us and the environment around us. Now we talked about excellence, the exuberance. Now taking these two aspects, just mix it in the right proportion, what can one expect of? It can just be the elevation of the thoughts, the elevation of the person's journey in their quest for accomplishments. And that is the same North Star that we in Chennai Wordsmiths are striving to achieve. So our XCOM team is comprised of passionate Toastmasters as put by our area director. It has an eclectic mix of experience when it comes to Toastmastering experience, starting from Toastmaster Arun, who has been a previous area director and who can eat, breathe, live Toastmaster for 18 hours a day without any tiresome experience. Here who has just finished her 12th, who's planning to get into a law school practice. So it's a wide variety of experience, but one common thread is the passion to make things better. So with this eclectic mix of members, we have put together some ideas in action. So we have come up with a calendar for the entire term in terms of what will be the events that will be organized at what days. We have formed buddy groups to just increase the level of participation, the level of learning, and the interaction between the Toastmasters on a very regular basis. We have also have plans put together for inter-club meetings so that the ideas can actually flow from one club to the other club. And also we have set on the right path in terms of increasing the growth in terms of membership. In fact, on the very first week, our VPM had 4 members joined on the club. So that is the path that we are set out to. So we are going to learn, we are going to implement, and we are going to course correct in the next 25 weeks, and the journey is on. So in conclusion, I'd like to say that I have a dream. I have a dream where each and every member of the Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club can elevate himself or herself into the league of powerful orators and leaders like Mahakavi Bharati, Margaret Thatcher, and Martin Luther King. So I have this dream, and I'm sure, along with the XCOM team and the fellow Toastmasters, we will work to make this dream a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chidambaram, and congratulations to all the XCOM members. To begin this evening with a wonderful note, we have distinguished Toastmaster Balamurgan raising a toast to all the Toastmasters present here. DDM Balamurgan is a certified black belt in Lean Six Sigma. He has 26 plus years of experience in petrochemical industry. He is also a past area director and distinguished Toastmasters. A big round of applause for DDM Balamurgan.
Thank you so much. Happy evening. Congratulations for 675th Milestone meeting. Way back in 2015-16, I moved from a role, leadership role, to an individual contributor role, where I need to coordinate with the different functional leaders and bring excellent deliverables. There's no productivity or growth or whatever cash, but I don't have any team members. under my control. All the years until 2016, exactly September, I managed almost led 25 plus people through the 15-year journey. Really, that was really threatening, or not sure how I'm going to do. So I was searching for a fraternity where I can develop my communication skills and then leadership skills where I can lead something who are not directly reporting to me. I was exploring Rotary Club or Lions Club. I don't know about Toastmasters. I'm browsing the website, and one of my friends posted in the FB stating that humorous champion, some area director. So, my God, this guy. Okay, my stomach got burning, and some, oh, no, we have to do something here. So I browsed in the same, I Googled it and found a couple of clubs near Anna Nagar, Chennai Wordsmiths in the top. So I called a person, and in that end, a female voice said, Chennai Wordsmiths is a great club, you can come as a guest. Can you guess who was that? Maithili, madam. So Maithili Srinivas, I attended that meeting and then decided to join and joined. After that, my journey started in Wordsmiths as a Toastmaster member, and then in the ExCom as a secretary, then moved to president. And 500th milestone meeting was one of the milestone meetings where I learned how to lead people. Throughout the journey, I learned a lot, but I implemented certain things, experimented certain things. That helped me to apply the same thing in my office. And now I am I'm anchoring continuous improvement strategic projects throughout the global. I don't have any direct reporters. We 6 people cherry-picked by top management on the board of directors. And I'm doing that because of Toastmasters, because of Chennai Wordsmiths. Excellence, exuberance, and elevation that will happen. And don't focus on these things. Just come and practice on the stage. You can see me, I'm just stuttering or stammering because 2.5 years no practice. Okay, nothing is granted. If you are going for a gym for about 10 years, I'm taking your words, Sridhar. I used to tell me these words. You're going to gym for 5 years and building muscles, and after that, if you leave that, you're going to gym for about another 5 years, you can't see the same mass in your muscle, right? So that is what happening to me now, sitting in front of the system and putting in the mute. Sometimes we speak, sometimes we are on mute. That results like some nervousness on the stage. DTM, all these titles are allowed. But when you're not hitting the stage on a regular basis, this happens. Okay, so let us hit the stage, come to club on a regular basis. We will practice in this lab and apply that in our professional lives. Thank you so much, and raising a toast. We will keep 1,000 also. Thank you, and over to President.
Thank you, DTM Balmurugan. And you, in fact, have proved a point that communication is a clever art and the one that comes by practice. The communication is the art of not only being heard, but also hearing what is being said. And your speech was symbolic of the fact that good communicator has to be a good listener first. And that is what can be getting them a long way in the journey to become a great orator, leader, and whatnot. Next up, we will be having an interesting session, which is called Words and Whistles. And at Chennai Wordsmiths, what we do is we always try to be different in the way that we communicate. We sort of craft communication in style, and which is going to be like music to heart and soul. And let me call upon the master of crafting communication in style. I'll share a few more words about the person who will be hosting the session now. She is a certified business language and leadership skills trainer, and she got a degree in teaching and training from Cambridge International. A person who will always make speaking look like a walk in the park. Toastmasters and distinguished guests, please raise your hands, put up your hands to welcome Toastmaster Jyoti Thomas to take us through work and wages. And Toastmaster Jyoti Thomas will also lead a story for the words from the founder of Chennai Wordsmiths. Thank you.
Interesting, this is why you should be part of Wordsmiths. I for a minute didn't know they were saying something about me. I said, oh wow, that's how wonderful you make people feel. Huh? So thank you. It's always lovely being at Chennai Wordsmiths. There's always a slip between the cup and the lip, and we call that as Murphy's Law. You can say 150 things. If you look at me, words and whistles. I was talking with Toastmaster Arun last evening when somebody just decided to decide like what I'm going to be speaking, right? So I said, okay, I'm going to look for the possible whistles, and I quickly ran and I said, hey, guess what I found? I found mine duck whistle. And I said, oh, great, I need to bring it, right? I took this, quickly ran across, and I found this whistle. This, I needed it here. This is for all of you. Clap, right? Because seriously, just take a look at this. And what's the timer, by the way? Oh, Arvind, he's very quietly sitting there. 2006, honestly, when it was the most turbulent time in my life. At the end of 2006 is when we say, like, Chennai, it's so hard. I have to keep telling myself, I have to say it's Chennai Toastmasters, Chennai Wordsmiths, because we were like thick as thieves. There were two people. They'd be like permanent daddy and mommy. And I'm wondering, and at that time when I went in at about 2007, I remember looking at a lot of people around us. Shasta, our lovely Aditya, full hair, like looking all young, and you won't believe. And we had a lot of people, Lalita, Indra, all of them. And at that point, we looked at the youngsters, and I remember saying in 2006, hey, listen, watch out. You're talking to somebody twice your age. Ironic. I'm still saying the same thing to many here. I'm still saying I'm twice your age. That's the exuberance. It's very nostalgic for me. Because no matter what I try to do, I come back like a bad shilling, back towards it. It's like I'm there and I have this fire in my belly. I just can't take mediocrity because I think, how can you? This is not what we did then. DTM Nina John is smiling. She will know, oh my God, were we truly sergeant majors. The green has come up, but I'm the lucky one. I have. See how often over here, are we all big shots? No? Are you a big shot? You're so much in doubt? Okay, today you were seeing somebody. I'm going to be talking about the big person, Abraham Zachariah, and I am short. So this combination is very rare. My lovely friend, who happens to be the charter founder member of Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club. And I only saw Nina John, I'm so sorry, it's like a family, right? So DT Nina John and Zach, as I would call him, always together, spinning something. This has to be full of action, and you'll see them. And when I got in, I'm going to have the double round on that Toastmaster. Arvind, you can't kick me off the stage now because I have something I have to read for DTM Abraham Zachariah. He put a fast one last evening and he said, hey, I forgot to tell you, I'm here in Gargle. I said, you must be nuts. Yes, I'm not here. My speech will be read out. he is truly lucky because somebody like a mummy is sitting right there permanently, and he just knows, the wheels just go on. Why we say all this? I was talking to many people who are from my time, 2007 or whatever, and I look at all of them and think, man, they're just great. So it's good to color my hair too, right? To feel young. They brought camaraderie. Trust me, we ran. There was not a day like school children. We were there before the strike of that 4 or 5 or whatever, with ties in our hands to make sure everybody was suited and booted. We were outside, not one could enter once the speech started. Thank you, DTM, Nina John. Sometimes it might be irritating when people call you mommy and then grandmommy or whatever, right? But sometimes certain titles stay on. Today, DTM, Abraham Zachariah, who owes me big time for stealing my time, I'm going to be reading his speech because I said, well, the president today mentioned about excellence and exuberance and elevating. I said, I will give up on what I choose to say because we believe in family. When he goes up to the stage, I'm up on the stage. Mr. DTM Yuvraj, when I was speaking with him, he said, when I saw Sridhar Ranga go up on stage, when Sridhar Ranganathan wins it, I'm right, sorry, I'm emotional. I win. Arun would come, Arun Sridhar, and we would go to Yelagiri, family running around. That was the lovely golden era of Chennai Wordsmiths. Mummy sitting there, she would be hopping, yo-yoing between 2 clubs, and we, trust me, it was like the 2 stars, Hollywood, Bollywood, Tollywood, call it whatever. When we walked with this air. Oh, you're from Chennai Toast, we are from Wordsmith. And we went and stole the show, but we were together. Believe me, we went to Hyderabad, we went to Bangalore, but we were cheerleaders for everybody. When we go, somebody said, so Wordsmiths has come for this place, board of a meeting. The whole lot, all the 20 have come to sign in for registration. That was the name Chennai Wordsmiths had. We enjoyed when somebody was celebrating today's celebration. Words from none other than the Big Daddy, who likes to quickly run and blame it all on Big Mommy. Nina said it. So that's good. We still pardon him for that. Let me quickly go ahead. This is from Abraham Zachariah, charter member of Chennai Wordsmiths. Interesting, I asked him why Chennai and not Madras. Madras is an emotion for me. Chennai, he said, you don't know. When they are clicking through and searching, they won't get Wordsmith. They won't look for Madras. They would look for Chennai and Wordsmith. Somebody who's just so adept, so wonderful, a craftsman, articulate with words is what we're looking at. Are we truly that? Ask yourself a question. Very easy when we stand here to say, I am getting inducted. Inducted into what? This has to be a DNA. Toastmasters International may have come to India. Let's not convert it to an Indian Toastmasters, but keep it global. I'm not saying American. So in his words, very interestingly, he says, there are several clubs with several leadership opportunities, raising the standards of various contests. 1st of December 2006, Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club had its first demo meeting at our wonderful place, ABK, AOTS, Dosakai, Chennai. It's the Japanese center on Chulemeda High Road, if you all remember that. DTM Ian Faria from Bangalore was the guest of honor. TM Sridhar Ranganathan presented his project speech. And it was evaluated by late Toastmaster Krishnan Arunachal. We remember him with deep gratitude. Charter President of Chennai Toastmasters Club, Wordsmiths Club, chartered in somewhere close to the 11th of June 2007. I'm going to ask DTM there, is all this right? Because somewhere, we're missing out a lot of history. Today we can stand here and claim and, chest thumping going on. Oh, we did this, ooh la la, wah, wah, wah. But there is somebody who put that foundation right there. Nothing was taken for granted. Nobody was taken for granted. We stood there making sure everybody was crème de la crème. Now, that being said, at that time, getting role players was the biggest challenge. Like we don't have it now, right? Just imagine. So, certain things getting better by time. I salute the contributions of late Toastmaster Ravi Bhaskar, my man who helped me go up on stage and would not take a no for an answer. He was my mentor. I love him. God bless his soul. Toastmasters C.T. Thomas, they set the club in place. It took 3 years to stabilize. Oh yeah, ask us about it. Many a times the venues would change, meeting dates would change, but we met. We met no matter what. No, that's not there. I'm telling you all this again. So just listen to it because I'm just speaking like the big, since I'm short. It changed a lot of things. The stability, it was relentless effort by the past and the present DTM's members. Today, 675th meeting. Can I hear a whistle? Nonsense. There goes the whistle. So that's for all of you. I'll keep the duck later. It's with deep gratitude. TTM Abraham Zachariah would like to thank his buddy who has talked through this Toastmasters Club, TTM Nina John, and all his group that he was with. With that, he says it's never an end. Avaricious that he is, I am sure we'll attain more. But we are saying, today's president said, I have a dream. Well, a dream will never be okay or never come true. We will never see the daylight if we are not going to stand up and say, when we all stood up and when we had the area director said, will you all promise? I heard everybody say, yes, we will. And here I'm standing and saying, I will. And I said, so we will, if it's not. So we were so particular in saying, are we going to be supporting our president today? The words in whistles. We can use a word that can whistle to say, ooh, wow. Or the same whistle can be, get the hell out of here. So before that comes, Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters, forever to come. Many more years to celebrate every moment. Who best to say that than somebody who has silvered gracefully is what I think. But I think if by the next milestone, we will all be real with our own colors. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you. I got to speak on behalf of Zachariah or Lalu or Abe, as I would call him, and sincere gratitude to all the DTMs here. And I can see one of my favorites sitting there with a big smile. I know of her, but I think I just know her. So welcome. Lovely to see all of you and enjoy. We at Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters will make sure you leave as per time. Because we started about 15 or 11 minutes late, we will not put it on you. Thank you all and have an enjoyable evening.
Pictures worth 100 words, a story's worth life experience. Thank you, Toastmaster Jyoti Thomas, for telling us all the story of our very own Chennai Wordsmiths. Big round of applause and whistles to you. Coming back, The story of birds and whistles reflected wisdom, winning, vision, and etc. As such, every story reflects its very own moral. Right from hearing Panchatantra and Aesop fables from our grandparents to hearing life stories from friends and relatives, we all grew up by inflicting and ingesting subliminally the morals we learn from each and every story in our own lives. Now, to elevate our storytelling skills, we have distinguished Toastmaster Aarti Mangalam here to deliver the keynote speech, The Art of Storytelling. She is a strong business developmental professional skilled in customer service, coaching, employee engagement, and organizational development, and is also the founder director of Learning Advantage. Very big round of applause for distinguished Toastmaster Aarti Mangalam.
Good evening, everyone. How many of you know how languages were formed? Any idea? I can see. Oh no, I'm talking about the story of languages. I can see Nina Man's eye. You just go. I know the story, but I'm going to be quiet and give you an opportunity. Thank you, Ma. So there was one particular situation where people became overconfident and they decided to build a tower that's going to reach the heavens so that they can reach God. Such was their overconfidence that they started building this tower. At one point of time, God, seeing the unnatural way that people were behaving, decided this must be stopped. So how do we stop this? Instead of all the people building the tower speaking in one language, he confused them so much, each of them started speaking in different languages, because of which they were not able to communicate and the tower stopped midway. This is called the Tower of Babel. However, amongst all these hordes of people who were doing blasphemy, there were two people who were sincere in their intentions. So God granted that these two people speak in the same language and be able to communicate. And here comes my interpretation. The language that God allowed these two people to speak is storytelling. There is a lot of different history to it, but this is my interpretation. Storytelling started off as a means for people to communicate amongst each other. If we look at it, the first form of storytelling was cave painting. From cave painting, we moved on to oral storytelling. Today, we are talking about visual storytelling. And what is Toastmasters if not storytelling? But before I get into the crux, I'm going to give you all an activity. If you are able to understand this particular point, storytelling becomes natural for all of us. I want all of you to close your eyes for 30 seconds. Timer alone, you could be excused and help me with this. 30 seconds, close your eyes. And in these 30 seconds, do not think of the green elephant. If you think of the green elephant, open your eyes. Do not think of the green elephant. Ten seconds more. Okay, all of you can open your eyes. How many of you did not think of the green elephant till I said open your eyes? Great. What did you think about?
I was just singing 3 elephants went up. So I only saw the regular elephant.
Fantastic. So what happened? She didn't see the letters elephant or the green color. She saw a picture of elephants. As human beings, we do not think in terms of a language. We only visualize. We think in terms of pictures. So if I'm trying to communicate something to you, what's the best way to reach you? To help you visualize what I am seeing. And that is where storytelling becomes extremely powerful. So when you're talking about storytelling, there are 4 P's of storytelling. Without that, you'll always feel, okay, something is missing in this story. Okay, you'll have to help me with that timer. I get 20 minutes, right? And you're showing me yellow. And anyone in Toastmasters know I speak 20 minutes after red, so please help me. Right, you can just let me know at 17. Show me red at 17 and wrap up. Thank you. There are 4 P's of storytelling, which is people, place, plot, and purpose. Now, one of the most favorite aspects of people for me, when we're talking about people, it is all about characters. And it need not be an actual human being. There are stories where the bike becomes one of the main characters. There are stories when one, I don't know how many of you saw this old Tamil movie, I think it's Edir Neechal from Nagesh. One of my most favorite for the characterization, if you're not, go watch it. I know I belong to that side of the crowd, the old crowd, so excuse me for that. There is one particular person who only coughs throughout the movie. They don't show him, they don't do anything else. He coughs, and that's a characterization. And that character has lived through that particular movie and for years with all of us. So that level of people, the characterization is very important. But without a plot, what's the point in having your characters? So your plot has to be extremely strong, clear, and it needs to map what you want to convey as the message. All of us have a message which we want to convey through the story. That message is your purpose. So your plot and purpose should go hand in hand. Storytelling is not table topics where you can speak whatever we want and then tie it at the end. Your plot and purpose must go hand in hand. So you have people, you have plot, you have purpose. But to help people visualize, that is where the place plays a major role. You need to let people know what you went through, what you saw. Paint a picture. By helping them visualize the place, it's easy for you to connect with your audience. Why am I speaking again about connecting is when your audience comes in to listen to you, they come in with a varied set of expectations. They come in with a particular expectation they want to learn from this session. Or just outside the hall, they might have had a problem with an auto driver. They are coming in that mindset. So to be able to bring them back and focus, storytelling helps. And that's where I picked up the habit of starting my speeches with a story and then ending it with a message that I want to share. So the other question that I remember when Arun spoke to me for this session, he said, where do you get these stories? Right? One, you got to be a voracious reader. But most importantly, every day, if you can spend a little bit of time trying to see what happened in your day. I still remember, I think someone was talking about Sasta, right? I was in Sasta's office one day. We had gone for a meeting. I pulled a chair in the conference room. Now, if you know, there are some chairs, like they're lifted up. If you don't press them down, it'll hit the table. Without realizing like what I normally do in office, I pulled it and Sasta winced. I stopped. I realized what I've been doing so long is something that can hurt another person. In my office with 3,000 people, it really didn't matter. But when I saw Sasta wincing, it made an impact. And for me, that's a lovely story on empathy. We do not put ourselves in our shoes. When my friend Sasta got hurt, I realized it. But when my boss probably went through the same thing at office, having to replace those chairs once in 6 months, I did not realize. So these stories can be taken from your day-to-day life. One, go through what happened in your day and see what stories you can get. And two, take all the interesting incidents that happen in life and see if you can map them back to a story or a message. Something I did share recently, not sure if any of you have heard of it. My daughter won a competition in school. She's a kindergarten kid. She just finished her junior KG, moved on to senior KG. And there are 4 sections. And there are on each section, one person got a prize. So there are 4 winners. Out of these 4, 3 of them I realized are sons and daughters of Toastmasters. One Toastmaster myself, one from Rane and one from Coromandel. So I'm giving you evidence that I'm telling you the truth. Then I started wondering, how come these 3 kids won and there are so many other kids? I went through all the videos. I was that jobless. That's a different story. I went through all the videos and I realized it was not about what they said, but it was about how they said it. And I think they picked up that flair for speaking and confidence because they saw us speaking day in and day out. For them, this is just another thing that mommy and daddy does. Whether it's true, I have no idea. I observed 3 things which I was able to connect it in the form of a story. And I do strongly believe that there has been a huge influence because of us speaking and them watching us. So the stories that you get need not always be about Abraham Lincoln or Albert Einstein or even about Kamaraj. It's nice if you can go ahead, but it is all the more relatable if it is your personal story. And personal stories can be very small, but you can build them beautifully. Right? So if you ask me where to get these stories, these are the places where you will find a lot of stories. And many a times stories can happen to your friends and family, which you can adapt to yourself. If I only look for stories that happen to me, maybe I'll not have enough stories. I'll be repeating the same one. Now comes the structure or the flow when it comes to storytelling. So I'm going to talk about 2 major types. One are typical movie styles, okay, of storytelling, which can be adapted to our IAC also. We call it the 3-act structure. So ideally, you talk about 3 particular situations. Why do we talk about the power of 3? Any idea? Easier to connect, okay. Compartmentalize it, okay. I'm going to just take some person at random. Any volunteers? Someone who I don't know too well. Yes, please. Can I have your name? Balaji. Balaji. Okay. Balaji, where do you live?
I live in Chennai.
Where do you live in Chennai?
In Kilpa.
In Kilpa. Okay. I live in Urapakam. Do you know where Urapakam is?
Yes, I think near to my old house.
The story is twisting on to me. I better be a little careful. So let's say I live in Urapakam. You're living in Kilpa. And after this meeting, at about 8:30, you go to a small store near your house to buy some bananas. And you see me there. What would you do?
I really think back about the storytelling speech what you're doing.
Wonderful. So you'll say it was nice speech and all that. Great. Next day, same around 8:30 in the night, you go to probably pick up some cool drinks. And once again, you see me there. What would you do?
What are you doing at this time?
The day after, the 3rd time, once again, we meet up the same time, same shop. And you know I have no business over there. What will you think?
I think I would be
I'm talking here. I'm waiting for you. He's being very nice. Okay. He's like, how do I tell this to her? Anything that happens the first time is just an incident. The second time, it's a coincidence. So that's why even second time, he's like, what are you doing over here? 3rd time, he was speechless because now it's a pattern. And human beings are able to understand pattern well. If we talk about data, it becomes very difficult to understand data. I'm horrible when it comes to data. You ask me some numbers, I'll be like, give me 2 minutes, I'll just come back. My phone is ringing. But patterns are something that all of us are able to understand quite well. And that is why we talk about the power of 3 in Toastmasters. So similarly, storytelling has a 3-act structure. So the first is you introduce either the plot or you introduce the hero, the heroine, or even the negative character and how they're going to transform could be a story. So you introduce the principal characters and the plot. And as you prolong the first act, you need to talk about one incident that made this person pause and think about it. Now, will this incident change that person? Definitely not. It's like one slap the person has got and they're wondering, okay, what happened? The second act is when the second slap comes in, and the second slap is so strong, the person decides that they need to go ahead and change their lives. But even that second slap, though the decision is there, it is not enough to spur this person into action. So now what happens? Of course, the third incident which becomes the tipping point or becomes the twist in the story, because of which the person will take steps to change what he or she wants to change. Now, what happens is most of us are very good with the incidents that spur us to change. We do not talk about what we do to change. That process of change is what we normally miss out in storytelling, and that is extremely important. So this is the 3-act structure. The first incident, the second incident, which spurs the person into action. Then comes the third incident, only after which the person starts acting, and you talk about the process, which becomes the climax. This can be used when you're having your 7-minute speech, 15-minute speech. But let's say you're given a keynote address for only 5 minutes. In that, you have to deliver your message and you have a story. Then there is a more simpler formula, which we talk about as before, after, and bridge, where you talk about how the world was before the problem, how the world would be after the problem gets resolved, and what do you do to reach from before to after. That is the bridge that you talk about. It's a very simple storytelling technique. I also use it for table topics, but it becomes easy because you're sharing what you've seen and you're helping the audience visualize what you've seen. So this is the before, after, and bridge technique. It has to come in order. You cannot say before, bridge, and after. Then it will lose the impact. It has to be before, after, followed by bridge. The second, a similar technique is problem, agitate, and solve. You state what the problem is and you be elaborate about it. Now, once you state the problem, agitate is where you add all your masalas and spices and make it interesting for the audience. And then you talk about the solution. So this also is a form of storytelling. These two, normally when you have a TT 2 minutes to speak, or you have an elevator pitch, in the elevator pitch you want to add a story, then you would go ahead and use these two techniques. So this for me is what I wanted to personally share about the art of storytelling. I have a PDF that I've shared with Arun. It's more detailed. Right? I don't want to go into the theoretical part, but that's there as a PDF. I'll request Arun to share it with all of you. And now I'm open to any questions.
I think this might help for the guests and even for newbies like me. How do you beat fear when talking in public?
Have you heard of butterflies in the stomach?
Yes.
I had rabbits
right now.
I had rabbits, okay? I have a habit of putting my foot in my mouth, always. So Arun called and said, Arthur said, storytelling, yes, of course. I love storytelling, no two ways about it. But I made a mistake of coming a little early. I should have waited outside and just walked in. Seeing Jyoti Thomas, seeing Sridhar Ranganathan do the installation, having Neena John ma'am, I'm like, what am I doing here? So it is, there is no way that you can overcome the fear. It's not like you do not have the fear. But the more you love what you're doing, the more you get accustomed to what you're doing, at some point in time, you'll forget everyone over there. And you'll be your own natural self, which is very important. But the second technique, I'll tell you, this happened in my very first TT contest in the district stage. I was about 4 months old in the Toastmasters. So I hardly knew most of the people. So one person I knew, I'm not going to name that person. Let's say I know Jyoti Thomas. She's sitting right in front. And because I know her, most of my eye contact is with Jyoti. And what does Jyoti do? Have you gone to this VGP? They have this statue, the personality statue. And that's how this person is sitting. I'm like, okay, so am I speaking sense? Does it make sense? I'm looking for some reaction. And this person did not give me any reaction. That's when I learned, you make sure in the crowd, you might not know someone, but still that person would be responding. For example, sorry, Chidambaram, he was responding throughout. So then I anchored onto him. And all of a sudden, I'm scared because there's Neena ma'am, I can't goof up, right? But I saw her eyes twinkling. Now that gave me confidence. You need to start looking at the audience and get energy from the audience. Earlier, they used to say, think of all the audience as being cabbages and look just at the wall behind. That never works. Because I had a wall in my contest, it didn't work. I lost the contest. So it's important you look at people to whom you can connect and have them respond. And that would help. But most importantly, when you're passionate about it, the more you keep practicing, the passion will start shining. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, 3 questions. I'll take all 3, but I'm going to start with 3. She promised we'll wrap up in time. Yes, Chandra.
Ma'am, like, when you have a story that you're very passionate about, you said you're going to look for the audience reaction and see. But if it is not creating that impact, right? And how would you try to salvage the situation?
Perfect. Now, what happens? You might have a lot of stories. You need to cherry pick them. Today, when Arun again put a class, so you'll tell us a story, right? What story do we tell about storytelling? That's when I thought I could talk about the Tower of Babel. The minute I thought about Tower of Babel, my first question was, how many of the audience will know the story? I was confident that maybe 20% would know, but 80% will hear it for the very first time. And in the end, the 2 people who spoke the same language, that's a different, they go through a very different way. But I customized it saying, for me, those 2 people spoke, the language was storytelling. So you need to prepare. Storytelling does not mean you can come on stage off the fly of cuff and keep talking about it. If I write down, I think I'll know at least 300 stories, but only about 6 or 7 will come on top of my mind. They had some impact and I would have practiced them. There is a very favorite story of mine for opportunities. Okay, I think I have time, right? You let me speak anyways. Yeah. Go ahead. I'll tell this the very short way, okay? So there's this young man who wanted to go look all around the place and learn from experience. So he left his village and went from one village to another village. In one of his travels, he saw this most beautiful girl. And he was like, I have to get married to this girl. Otherwise, life does not make any sense. So he goes to the girl's parents and asks her hand in marriage. Typical village style, they said, we have a competition. You win the competition, the girl is all yours. So what's the competition? One fine day in a big ground, they will let 3 bulls, one after another. You need not go and control all the bulls and all that. You just have to touch the tail of the bull. This man says, however difficult I'm willing to do because the girl is my life. And they all go there. And that fine day, morning, he's all ready. The gates open and the first bull comes. It's like a typical truck you see. Huge, monstrous, running with full force. And this guy is like, I'm risking my life, but I have 2 more chances. So he lets this first bull pass. The second bull is now open. You see the movie Transformers? This is that bull. It's again running in full force. This guy says, no, let me not risk my life. Third one is do or die. Because for me, if I die also, it's still, without the girl, it doesn't make sense. So third bull is going to be do or die. And he closes his eyes and he prays earnestly. And then the gates open. And this bull comes. It's hardly able to stand on its leg. It's scrawny. It's not eaten for like 10 days or so. We have no idea when the bull is going to fall down and die. So before the bull falls down and dies, this guy wants to go touch the bull's tail. So he runs very fast. And he's about to touch the tail. He realizes the bull has no tail. So we talk about, who said, oh, a little later. So we talk about lost opportunities. But this is my favorite story. But when I did not tell this story for quite some time, and I had to suddenly tell it in a particular situation, though I knew it was apt for the situation, I was not able to tell it in that flow. So even the stories you know well, you will have to keep practicing. Otherwise, you'll not be able to tell them. I hope I answered your question. Sure. Jyoti.
Something which most people ask when they're on stage. It has to be an impromptu or maybe, without a prop. How will they remember if they forget? How to overcome that little thing, to cover up and still complete the story?
Number one, it's practice, practice, practice. End of the day, this particular presentation, I gave it to Arun about 3 days ago. I practiced. I still wrote my notes, stating that if I forget, I could always refer to. But you need to go through it again and again and again. And practice is the best way to remember. Also, have a particular flow to what you want to say. Your flow will become your story. Like I know, for example, I start with the Tower of Babel, and then I'll go through this exercise. I've said why you should tell stories, which is visualization. From there, I'll move on to what are the 4 important characteristics. So I have that flow in mind. You could also, this is another trick which works wonders for me. On a stage like this, you could decide, I'm going to stand here when I talk about visualization. When I'm talking about Tower of Babel, I'm going to stand over here. If you know your stage and you plot yourself, automatically when you walk, we call this as muscle memory, right? So you practiced it so much that the minute you have this gesture, that thought comes to mind. So that's another trick but it needs a little more practice as such. You can always trust your muscle memory to remember. Yes.
Another point as a I was in school, remember the power of 3 and do all those things. Suddenly, I think suddenly, I think some rapid questions, like suddenly I just throw it off the path. It was intentional. Okay? So when you do like that, suddenly your thought process suddenly stumbles. Right? So how do you, two things with respect to your body language, how you cover it. Second question is, how do you remember the content? And without showing that emotion and doing it. That is the part I want to say.
Okay. So what happens when you throw a question and I'm kind of, it's a googly for me, how do I manage?
Yeah, because everyone is doing it in Chennai, it's not a thing. So, but it was naturally for me, but it was a slightly thing I want to put you.
Oh, so you did it on purpose. I'll remember. That's a story. I know where to get back. I'll make sure I get back. Just kidding. But see, this is the way I needed some time. So what do? I make fun. I pass a remark. Again, a trick I used in TT when I started off, right? I'll come on stage, I'll look at everyone, look at my watch, and then say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Without my watch, don't I know whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening? I've given myself those few seconds to think. And the audience will not know. Till I told you this, if you just looked at the watch, you probably think it's her mannerism. I give myself some time to think and then to respond. That is number 1. Number 2, in the event, no, it's okay, thank you. Thank you. In the event that I don't know where I left off, it's perfectly fine to put it back at the audience. You know, we use questions to connect with the audience, right? If I want to look like I'm ultra smart, I'll probably say, okay, now you tell me where I left off, making it sound like I'm checking whether you're listening. Or if I wanted to be humorous, oops, where did I leave? It's again both the same, but how you go ahead and carry it forward. And if you're able to set the pace right in the initial, let's say 2 to 3 minutes with the audience, they will take care of you after that. It's only those first 2 or 3 minutes where you have to prove yourself to the audience. And normally I open myself up. I've made mistakes. I don't know. This is where I am. I was nervous and I was open enough to accept it. And after saying I'm nervous, I know next time I speak, she's always on my side. I am nervous. I'm not saying this to bring that kind of a build up over here, but I am nervous and it's okay to share that because people identify always with the underdog. So that always helps, and it's perfectly fine to let the audience know that, you know, you need their support and they will do it in style. I hope I answered your question. Well, I should have done this at the beginning. Again, a sign of nervousness. Let me take this opportunity to congratulate Chennai Wordsmith on its 675th milestone. Here and listening to all of you all, I realized how much of hard work that's gone into it. Today, when we are not able to commit ourselves to something for 1 year, 675 is a huge number. Kudos and thank you so much for all that support you've been giving to the district. And I also wish all the incoming officers a fantastic term ahead. And as the district director, if there is anything that you all need from me, most of you know my number. Otherwise, get it from Arun. I'm always a call away. Thank you so much.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Aarti Mangalam. We are not going to be letting you go off easily. And we are also going to be chasing you down to the departmental store at 8:30 p.m. today. And one thing that we have learned today is, if there is one sort of an art which is going to be standing the time, it is going to be the storytelling. And we in fact have had a vivid display of what it takes to storytell and how storytelling can be empowering the minds of the audience. And appreciation is just an understatement for you. We in fact have gone through such length and breadth of what it takes to be a successful storyteller. And may I now request our president to be presenting the memento to distinguished Toastmaster R.D. Mangalam as a token of gratitude. Thank you.
Sorry, you have to let me go. I have a wedding to attend and my daughter and my mom are parked in the car down. So please excuse me, another day I'll join you for the entire meeting. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Next up, to address the gathering, we have our immediate past district director, Toastmaster Satish Menon. He is a first generation IT entrepreneur, having more than 2 decades of experience in the IT field. He has been a distinguished area director and a president distinguished division director. He has held various other positions and is now the immediate past district director. Toastmaster Satish Menon is an avid traveler and is an avid reader and a collector of books on any subject. I now call upon Toastmaster Satish Menon to share his thoughts on Toastmasters.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. How many of you in this room have seen the movie The 36th Chamber of Shaolin? Quite some people. Right? For those of you who have not seen it, I would advise you can go and see it. It's there on YouTube. For those of you who have seen it, you will all recollect that it's been a very cult movie. It's one of the very few foreign movies that celebrated a silver jubilee in India, way back in the 80s. And why I bring this example of this movie is the hero in the movie. He wants to learn Kung Fu for whatever reason. And he goes to the Shaolin temple. And he goes and tells the priest there, Master, teach me Kung Fu. So those guys are perplexed. Why should we let this guy inside? He persists. When they say, okay, go meet the head of the temple. So he goes to the room where the head of the temple is sitting, and that guy is an old monk, not to be confused with the drink. So he's sitting there meditating, and this guy says, Master, teach me Kung Fu. Because he wants to learn it quickly. And twice he says it, and the guy looks at him and then just blows through his mouth, and this guy is thrown out of the room. Then he realizes that if somebody can just blow me out of the room through his breath, there is a lot that I have to learn. Then he goes back and then he starts from that level 1. Why I'm bringing out this example is Toastmasters is also similar. You see a lot of people who come and say, I want to be the world champion of public speaking in 1 year. Ask Sridhar here how many times he's tried to get there, but someday he will get there. We all know it, right? But it cannot happen in just 1 year. People come and say, I want to become best communicator or the best leader in 1 year. Best communicator, best leader is a misnomer anyway. There is no definition to it. Leadership can have many definitions. Communication can have many definitions. It's how effective you are to getting your message across. That's most important. Some people say, I want to be the district director in the next 3 years. Technically possible, yes. But whether you'll be able to do a good job at it, very hard to say. But what Toastmasters teaches us that when we all come here, we come here for a specific purpose. That is the why of why we come to Toastmasters. And the why will differ from each one of us. Some come here to become good communicators. Some come here to kind of get over the stage fright of standing here and speaking. Some people come to Toastmasters to better their leadership experience. Some come here to become the next public champion, world champion of public speaking. Everybody has their why. As long as you are pursuing that why in the right manner, you are in the right place. But pursuing that why takes a lot of time. It cannot happen like a 2-minute noodles that I pour hot water and it's ready. If that was the case, Chennai Wordsmith would not have existed today. You started in the year 2006. We are talking about the year 2022. This is still a vibrant club. Why? Because it takes a lot of time for people to pursue that journey of excellence. It takes a lot of time for us to get to where we are, where we want to go in Toastmasters. It's not that simple. And what is very important in all of this is consistency. When we tell people, how do you become the best communicator? To become a best communicator or to enhance your communication leadership skills, the first thing that you need to have is consistency, that is turn up for your club meetings. As simple as that. If I don't turn up for my club meetings, there is no way I can pursue my journey in Toastmasters. Because your journey of excellence starts there. And your journey in Toastmasters has to end, it has to end in a club meeting only. It cannot end anywhere else. And when you practice something over time, you find that you're getting better at it. That is what is important, not only Toastmasters, in everything. If I want to become a good guitarist, I need to start practicing the guitar every day. I can't just dream about it and say, let me do visualization and I'll become the best guitarist. It doesn't happen that way. Same goes for public speaking, same goes for communication, same goes for leadership. It all depends upon practice. It all depends on the way you practice it consistently, the way you implement it within Toastmasters, outside Toastmasters, get the best opportunity and make the best out of it. And when you talk about leadership, it's very simple. I just recollect this example where we had this person, one of the ex-world champions of public speaking, Mohammad Khatani. He was here and then somebody in Chennai, when he was here, somebody asked him the question, when you became the world champion of public speaking, after that, when you went back to your club, what did they tell you to do? He said, they did not tell me anything. They just told me to sit in one corner. So did they give you any role? He says, yeah, there was only one role left, which was Sergeant at Arms. Nobody was willing to take it, so I took it. So some people were like shocked. They said, how you are the world champion of public speaking? He says, it doesn't matter. I was the world champion of public speaking. End of the day, I'm still a Toastmaster. I still belong to my home club where my membership is. So when I go there, I am still a member. And he says, I started my journey in Toastmasters as a Sergeant at Arms. After I became the world champion of public speaking, I'm going back there and being a Sergeant at Arms. He says, I don't mind. That is the way when we look at consistency, what we should approach ourselves in Toastmasters. Because when we practice, and when we share our experience, when we learn from others, that is how we grow. And when we grow, we find ourselves becoming a better version of what we are when we walked into a Toastmasters meeting. I still believe that when you go to a Toastmasters meeting, you should walk out as a better version of yourself. And when you do that week over week, you will find the world changing for the better. You will find people reacting at you or looking at you in a different manner, not because you have undergone a transformation physically, because the way you are approaching people, the way you are talking to people, the way you are coming across to people, that has undergone a change. And with that positivity, I'm sure the world will be a better place, not only for you, but for everybody. With this, I congratulate Chennai Wordsmiths on this milestone, 2006, right? 2006 to 2022 is a very great journey. Not many clubs in the district or in the world sustain for this long, let me tell you. If you could look at today's statistics, which was published, it says in Toastmasters International globally, there are only 47% of the clubs that have 20 or more members. 47%. Rest all are active, but they don't have 20 or more members. So you should consider yourself lucky if you are having 20 or more. You are a club which is setting the standards for the rest of the clubs in the district to follow. All the very best to each one of you. Happy learning, happy Toastmaster. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, immediate past district director, Satish Menon. We in fact have had two back-to-back empowering sessions, one on storytelling, the other on how to actually keep the spirits high as far as this Chennai or Toastmaster world is concerned. And this also reminds me of a quick story. And so I, in fact, have been motivated by DTM Aarti Mangal to also share a quick story. Once a guy wanted to stay in a hotel room which had a magnificent view of outside. And he approached one of the finest hotels in town, and he was speaking to the receptionist, and he was placing a request that he wanted a room which unfolded, or the window of the room which unfolded to a scenic view outside. The receptionist, having taken his request, gave him the best room with the best or splendid views of the outside. This guy got settled in the room. The next morning, he came rushing down to the reception, and he was starting to complain to the receptionist. The receptionist was quite perplexed, and she did not know what happened. And in her imagination, she has given him the best possible rooms, which had given the best possible view of outside. And she was asking this person what was the problem, and then she got to know from him. This man had told her, and what did I ask you? And I asked you for a room with a great view. And what is the room that you have given me? Where is the damn view? The mountain is in the way. Instead of getting drawn to the beauty of the mountains, and this guy seemed to have seen this mountain as an obstruction. At times when we need to be seeing things beautiful, we would need exuberance. Exuberance is what elevates us to greater heights and makes us a person of excellence. On that note, we will be moving into the next session, and this is going to be an address by our program quality director. To say a few words about the person who will be hosting the session, we will be having a person who has been associated with Toastmasters for close to a decade now, and she has served as various, served positions as various capacities, and she has been the area cable director, division director, and assistant club growth director for District 82 Tamil Nadu. And she also has been awarded Star Area Director and Star Division Director for driving her area and division to President's distinguished status. I would now request everyone to give a big round of applause to our Program Quality Director, Gayatri, who will join online and who will take us through her address. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Can you confirm you can see me and hear me clearly? Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, I can see few people coming close to the camera, but I'm not sure if I'm audible.
Yes.
Thanks, Reena. I hope, are you also in the place? I mean, in the venue?
I'm not like Gayatri.
Okay. I know.
But you are audible. Yeah, you are there, the project, your big project.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if people over there can hear me.
Bala, can you please confirm to her?
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. I didn't want to speak for 5 minutes and then realize that none of you could hear me or see me. Okay. Yeah. Many congratulations to the members of Wordsmith Club, because it's not a small feat to achieve this big milestone. I really wanted to be there, and I curse my bad health for not being able to be there when Aarti and Satish and Jyoti were speaking. I mean, when Jyoti was speaking, that's when I joined, and then I felt so bad. I mean, it's not so good joining from online, seeing you all there. Definitely, I'll join you all on another occasion. I wanted to ask you a question. Imagine you buy a plant and then you bring it to your home, and then you start nurturing and then it start flowering. You feel very happy, right? And then you start feeling so happy about the plant that you start thinking, okay, this is such a nice plant giving me so many flowers. Sometimes it gives you fruits or vegetables, and then we admire the plant so much. Now imagine you buy the plant and then the plant doesn't seems to be happy, like it starts drooping, it is never flowering, some of the parts starts wilting. Then do you go and ask the plant what's wrong with you? I mean, some people do that. I know my mom talks to the plant, but more often we rather check the environment. We think whether there is a lot of heat, whether the plant is getting the proper nutrition, is it watered properly, is there too much of water, is it too less of water. We start looking at the environment or the ambience around it, right? I have a feeling that humans are also that. Many a times when we see somebody growing up beautifully, we think it's all their efforts, such a nice person. But we generally do not admire the ambience or the environment that the person has been into that has probably changed or transformed them. To me, every Toastmasters club is that place of nurture where the best possible light, water, air for a plant, similar to that, whatever the human requires, the opportunities, the recognitions, the polite evaluations, the mentor who is always there, the evaluator who comes back and says, hey, you know what, I enjoyed doing this, or a random stranger Toastmaster who comes and gives you a small compliment. All these are the ambience or the environment that helps people become a beautiful plant or bloom beautifully. For me, Wordsmith was actually part of my journey. I'm not sure if any of you would be aware of it. Today, I stand as the program quality director, so at least my face may be familiar for most of you. But when I was the president, I wasn't a very, I didn't have a lot of friends around or anything like that. But I remember the then president, today he's a distinguished Toastmaster, I believe. Then he was Toastmaster Ramanujam, and he was the president of the club. So he said, Gayatri, why don't you be the chief judge for our contest? So trust me, that was the very first opportunity I got to play as a chief judge. I had been judges in a couple of contests, but I never thought somebody would give me that opportunity. And I fondly remember bringing in people and seeing Sridhar's name in the contestant list. I ensured that there were at least 3 people who has never heard to Sridhar, because I didn't want anybody to have a bias or expectation or hello or reverse hello, no such effect. I tried my best and I brought all of them in metro. I said, we'll go by metro. It will be a wonderful ride. That's how I motivated people to join the team of judges. I also remember bringing in chocolates for them because there were more than 12 contestants. I didn't want any of my judges to feel tired or not listen to the sleep. I mean, not sleep and not listen to the speech. So that was a very fond experience that I had. And that was an opportunity that was given to me for the very first time. And I mean, I may not be able to directly relate that, but it is such opportunities that grooms somebody as a person. I don't think I would have realized that I could do that role unless somebody gave me that opportunity. And Wordsmith was that place for me. And I'm pretty sure that Wordsmith has been that place for so many people, giving that real ambience and environment for so many people to bloom beautifully. Because today we see that you've reached a very big milestone. Going beyond 600 milestones, I don't think, like Satish mentioned, many clubs all over the world don't get to reach that number. If your club has reached that number, it means that not just one person, it is year after year, somebody has been there to nurture this place, and in turn this place has nurtured so many people. So I'm so happy and elated to know that we are all part of a district where we have so many clubs which are reaching beyond that 600 milestone. So we are getting into a place where we have a lot of people with so much of knowledge and a lot of beautiful experiences that has been given to a lot of members. So I don't know if you have all realized it. If you're a member of this legendary club, I think you should feel really, really proud of being there. And as much as you feel proud, you also have a beautiful responsibility to hold, to be that person who ensures that the ambience and the environment stays positive, such that so many more people can take advantage and then grow through this program. I really wanted to be there. I can't tell you how much I miss being there. But yeah, but I'm really grateful that I could still at least address you all and share my thoughts despite all the challenges we have. I think we have discovered a new thing through this online mode. So I had to resort to the next best opportunity today. But we'll all meet soon. Until then, keep nurturing and keep giving that ambience and keep blooming through all the beautiful things that are around you. Many, many congratulations for more and more such milestones. Let's keep growing through Toastmasters. Back to you, Toastmasters.
Thank you. Thank you, DTM Gayatri. If you weren't able to hear, you had a very big round of applause from my end. And as said earlier, excellence is not by chance. It requires persistence, perseverance, and perfection at every step. To know more about this, we call upon now a person. By looking at his titles, I got to know he was very persistent in pursuing perfection in his Toastmasters journey. Distinguished Toastmaster Mohana Krishnan. He is working as a principal product manager in his home club, Norton Lifelong Toastmasters Club. He is the first member to achieve Pathways Distinguished Toastmaster in District 120. He is a past Division Director of Division A, currently serving as the Club Growth Director of District 120 for the year 2022. He is here to see the winning spirits in us through his work. Winning takes talent, to repeat takes character. Over to Distinguished Toastmaster Mohana Krishnan.
Thank you, MC, for that intro. Good evening, all of you. Good evening. First of all, congratulations, everyone at Wordsmith for your 675th meeting. What a number, right? You heard everyone talk about it. I'm from a corporate club. A lot of corporate struggle. I've seen even community clubs, but 675 is great. So here's what I want to tell you all, the members, the ExCom, right from the charter. Take pride in how far I've come and have faith in how far I can go. What does it mean? Not just 675, 775, even for 1000 meeting, please not forget to invite me. Hoping I'll be around, I'll definitely come to it. What I want to talk about here today is three things, which is very important, not just as a leader. I think all of us have to look at these as a member, especially with the fellow members. Number one, I call this the voice of the members. Now, what do I mean by voice of the members? Right? Each one of us are here for a purpose. With that, I think it's very important to listen to the voice of the members. Now, what do I mean by that? All of us came here for a reason. Someone, as you heard Satish, everyone wants to become the world champion. And then you end up being area director, division director, and whatnot, club president, right? So this is what I'm talking about. Listen to each of the members, not just from your club. This applies to ExCom, this applies to non-ExCom members. Talk to your fellow members, not just your club, your fellow club in your area. Try to understand why they're here in Toastmasters. A lot of people come here for a lot of reasons. Some we heard, Sheila saying, and someone comes here for communication. Someone comes here for leadership. Someone comes here only for networking. I've seen people who have never come to the club meeting or area meeting or contest, but I've seen them every district conference, including in Sri Lanka. So he or she is here only for networking. Now, the club ExCom might, this question might start popping up in clubs ExCom, saying, now, how do I understand why people are here? There are so many tools that Toastmasters has given, and I'm sure you will be doing that, right? There are tools like member interest survey. Not just for new member, let's use that for existing members also, right? As I said, I joined here for communication. I now would have thought I would become a club growth director when I joined like 5-6 years back. So let's use things like that, right? Now, why do we want to do that? Now that brings to point number 2 that I want to say, to deliver member experience, right? Why do we need that? With getting all these information from the member, understanding why he joined the Toastmasters, you deliver the best. You deliver the member experience. Why? Only when you know better, you serve better. That's the point. Now, what is this going to make us do? It is going to help us grow. That's the third point that I want to talk about. Now, what growth am I talking about? Club, area, district, anything for that matter, right? By listening to the voice of the members, you are able to deliver the member experience that they get. When I talk about growth, it's not about getting just new members. It's about retaining the existing members. That's what I see as growth. I've seen clubs saying, Mohan, we are very happy during my division. We have added 30 people. I see the dashboard, it says 33, which means 30 people left, 3 people are there and they have added 30. I'm happy, but still we have lost 30 people, right? So what does it mean to lose members? Let's imagine a business. We have partners in business. What happens when we lose a partner in a business? We lose a part of a business. That's exactly what we're doing here. When we lose a member, we lose experience. We lose knowledge. So I see the easiest path, is to retain our members. When I say growth, it's important to grow as a club, area, division, or a district. But what I would say is more important is to grow as a knowledgeable district or a club, which is very important. All of you would have heard about Tom Hanks, Will Smith, right? They were once upon a time called the most dependable actors of Hollywood. They even call Vijay Sethupathi here because he's acting like 10 movies a year. I believe what I want to see in our district, we have a lot of people who are knowledgeable, but at the same time, we are losing a lot of members. It's my dream, I would say. I want to see a lot of dependable Toastmasters here. If I go ask this person, I'm going to get an answer. That's what I want our district to be. And that's how I want our district to grow as knowledgeable district. That's exactly what I want to say today. And that's exactly what I'm going to talk the entire year. So yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Once again, congratulations on your milestone. Looking forward to be here again. Thank you so much. And over to you.
Thank you, DTM Mohan Krishnan. We certainly will want to be keeping the spirits high and trying to make sure we are able to carry forward the image of the District 82 levels higher. On that note, we will now move into a session, and this session is also going to be packed with information. And to host this session, we will have our charter member of Toastmasters, the person who was the very reason for the Toastmaster Forum to even have established in Chennai and as well as all over India. Let me also share a few more words about her. And she's also the person who has held top ranks in Toastmasters as district governor, chief judge. Besides that, she's also past mentor pool chair, author and professional speaker. And this person will be bringing us all to the limelight on what it takes to run a successful club and what are all the factors which is responsible for the club growth. May I request everyone to give a big round of applause to our charter member, DTM Neena John. I request our charter member, DTM Neena John, to be on the stage.
Thank you so much. And good evening to Chennai Wordsmiths. I feel like a real proud mother, 675 meetings. Officially, I'm a grandmother, but then that's a different story. So let me start with Aditya Maheshwaran, as all of you all have known. So Aditya Maheshwaran and Mark Brown, all these WCPS champions, all of whom live on a totally different plane than the rest of us mere mortals, they were discussing why do you go back to the club? And Mark Brown said, the club is the crucible of the Toastmaster experience. Think about it. What is the area? One abstract concept somewhere. There's a division, which is a collection of clubs. There's somebody called a division director, all of those things. And at the most, when you go for a district conference, that's when you meet the rest of the Toastmasters. But the real lived-in experience of a club is what makes you a Toastmaster. And that's what I want you to think about. When you become a Toastmaster, you take a promise. I promise that I will do my projects. I will do them from pathways. I will do them regularly. Remember that promise? Some of us have forgotten about it. I see a lot of guilty faces. The other was to help other Toastmasters, to help them grow, and to make them also part of the Toastmaster experience. And that's what I really want you all to think about. As a Toastmaster, there are 2 or 3 areas that I want you to concentrate on. And I think this is important because this is how we, as a movement, grow Toastmasters. The first of these is attendance. Chennai Wordsmiths Club, 80 members. Who misses me if I'm not there? Nobody. Am I right? But why are you here? You're here to learn public speaking. And if I'm a speaker, you're the public listening to me. If you are not there, if you don't give me that energy, that smile, those nods, those, let me check my email again. Unless I get that reaction from the audience, I will not grow as a speaker. Unless I get a constructive evaluation, I will not grow as a speaker. Because I have come here to grow. I have come here to establish myself as a speaker. And when you give me a whitewash evaluation, oh, Sridhar, you know everything. You don't need any improvement. Sridhar is still waiting for at least 1 point. That 1 point will be the one that will take him to the World Championship. That's what we're looking at as a member. Are you doing your duty by attending Toastmaster meetings? Are you doing your duty by conducting your roles to the best of your ability? Are you participating in club activities, inter-club activities, intra-club activities? Are you taking up roles? Because Toastmasters is where leaders are made. You can have communication without leadership. All our TV anchors are great examples of communication without leadership. But to be a true leader, you have to have communication skills. And that's what differentiates Toastmasters from everywhere else. So you have to remember, if you want to be a better leader at your workplace, if you want to be a better leader in your family, if you want to be a better leader in your community, make sure you take the Toastmaster experience back there. Most important skills, listening. In your office, at home, anywhere, you're listening to somebody to bark back at them. You've got an answer already. You've got your dialogue ready. Toastmasters is the only place where you listen without judgment. You get other perspectives. You learn about other people. You learn stuff that you may not have heard anywhere else. And you learn to evaluate. When you learn to evaluate, you are also learning the other most invaluable skill, which is you are evaluating the speech, not the speaker. And that makes all the difference. You will realize when you are delivering, when you're able to speak, assess, analyze, and give compassionate feedback, that's when both of you grow. And that's how Toastmasters grows. And that's why I say to you again, your tagline for this evening is excellent. Exuberance, excellence, elevation. Exuberance. It is mandatory as far as I'm concerned that you must leave a Toastmaster meeting with a smile on your face. Otherwise, the meeting has failed. You must strive for excellence because without that, we are nothing. Without this constant lifelong learning, without this constant quest for excellence, we cannot grow. And when we grow together, we learn how to elevate each one of us together. Back to you, sir.
Thank you, DTM Meena Jan, for taking us through the factors of growth for club. I request DTM Meena Jan to stay back on stage for some more time. As a token of our gratitude, we would like to present you a memento. And to present the memento, I request Toastmaster Chaitanya to come on stage and present the memento. I would like to take this opportunity to present the memento for two more other Toastmasters. I request Toastmaster Satish Menon to come on stage and receive a memento. To present the memento, I call Toastmaster Arun Kumar on stage. And talking about growth, as Neena ma'am said, growth, improvement, elevation, it's not an event, right? It's a journey. Every journey starts from a point, and every Toastmasters journey starts from an ice-breaking speech. To give her icebreaker speech, we have Toastmaster Anjana, who has recently joined the club. But before that, for reading out the speech objectives of Toastmaster Anjana's ice-breaking speech, I request distinguished Toastmaster Arun Shrita sir to come on stage.
Speaker is giving her icebreaker. Purpose of this project is for the member to introduce herself to the club and learn the basic structure of public speech.
Thank you. Coming back to Toastmaster Anjana. She is a scientist turned business strategist and a global marketer. Outside of work, she loves to travel to a lot of countries and is excited to meet new people. She is also a dog lover and believes that pets can teach us a thing or two about patience, happiness, excitement, and love. Toastmaster Anjana, the title of her speech is Who Am I? Who am I? Toastmaster Anjana.
I'm sure you can all hear me, right? At the end of it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Manisha, and thank you very much, Arun, as well. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and my friends. Well, this is a chance for me to introduce myself to the club, and I'm Anjana. For many who don't know, you can call me Anj or Anju or whatever you like. So, as you know, like all of you, I'm being made for my past experience. And today I truly believe that this experience will help me to grow as a better communicator and as well as a better leader as well. So let me start with an introduction about my childhood. So I was born and raised in Chennai. I studied in Church Park, and I'm a single child for my parents. So I'm sure everybody can actually relate, right? Being a single child, having siblings, it's kind of, I would say it's like rewarding as well as it's detriment. But in my case, it's complete damage. If you ask my parents what type of personality I was in my childhood, I was one person who was very mischievous. You see, if anybody, next door screaming, it'll be me. It'll be because of me, I would say, because, right, in breaking the windows, puncturing the car, or, the whole society gets mad because of me. So every time, I remember this childhood memory, like whenever I go to sleep, my mom, she stands in front of the room and she taps with the broomstick. In Tamil, it's called Thodapagada. So she, every time I get whacked by her. So when it comes to studies, I'm a mediocre student. I love science, physics, chemistry, but surprisingly, maths never liked me. I just tried to pass the exam, just get 50, and I'll be happy there. So over the course of years, I finished my 12th, and then I thought I wanted to become a pilot. But unfortunately, my dad was against it, and he said he wants me to become a doctor. My mom, she wants me to become an engineer. My cousins, they were like giving all various options, but I was just lost. That's the honest truth. Then somehow I managed to get into biotechnology. I did it in IIT. And then further 4 years of struggle, I finished the course, and I just followed one of my seniors' path where I decided to take a master's. So I went to United Kingdom to do my master's in immunology and immunogenetics. I can understand. That's nobody understands. Even I didn't understand as well. So I did it in University of Manchester and I completed. Then I joined as a research scientist in AstraZeneca for some time, where eventually I loved it. But then over a course of time, I understood I was not doing what I'm supposed to do. I mean, I didn't feel complete. So I gave it a thought again. I was lost. I was confused. Trust me, for 6 months, I never slept at all. There was a lot of confusion going around, but miraculously, I met a few really meaningful friendships. So they tried to help me as what type of person I am. They helped me to understand. Like, I'm an extrovert, and I love to travel. I love to try a lot of international cuisines. So these were the things I got feedback from them, and that really helped me. So then I discussed with my family. They were literally going angry on me. But then I still stood up for myself. I said, no, I'm going to change my career. Let me try. What's wrong in there? Let's be courageous. And then one fine day, I resigned in AstraZeneca, and then I told, I'm going to become a business strategist. Then I said, no, I'm going to become an entrepreneur. Let's do whatever. You can try whatever you want. And I did some courses in marketing and business development. And I did work for my father for some time. But trust me, my father's business science was completely opposite to what I think. So I ran away back to England. And then again, I worked as a sales and marketing expert. I also did a marketing manager as well for a while. I loved it. The job was amazing. I traveled, I met new people. I went and, I love the international cuisines given there. My favorite food is Greek salad. It is amazing. But then in 2019, one day my mom, she came to visit me in England. And she was like, what are you doing for past 11 years? Only child. We need to get you married. You need to be with us. You need to support us. She went for her. And I said, okay, let me see. So again, it took some time for me to meet me back. So I decided to resign and I came back to India. I was lost. I thought I was not getting a job. But then luckily I got a job in Soho as a business evangelist. I met really a lot of nice people in there. But again, in 2020, there was pandemic. So I had to stay back home. But I think that was the golden period of my life. I enjoyed it thoroughly. And then they also made me meet a guy. And fortunately, we happened to be on the same page and we got married last year. So actually, I should thank my husband for this because he was the person who actually showed me a path. Like there is this Chennai Wordsmith here. I think that's the best place to start for your public speaking. So thanks to him and thanks. And that's where I'm here right now, meeting lovely people here. And thanks for listening. That's about me.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anjana. I believe you've not just broken the ice, you in fact have crushed it into tiny shards. move on to the next segment. The wheels of the session has to move on, right? And the next session is also going to be like an appetite for all of us. And this is going to be hosted by a special person who, in her own right, can be getting very humorous on full throttle. To add a few more words about her, the table topics master. The table topic session is what we would be having today. The table topic master for today will be Chennai Wordsmiths VP of Education. And I did ask her what she does, and she replied to me, she's a homemaker, postgraduate of business administration in HR, and currently pursuing MBA in international business. And I hereby welcome Toastmaster Shweta to conduct the table topic session. Thank you.
Hello. So now we are, good evening everyone. Now we are moving on to impromptu session, which is table topic session. And we will have fun in this table topic session. So first, I will show you a picture. You will have to talk about 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, timer Arvind will show the green card. At 1.5 yellow card, and at 2 minutes red card. 30 seconds will be the extra time for wrap up your speech. So the first topic, Chaitanya. Are you able to see the topic? So this is for Toastmasters Sridhar Ranganathan sir. You will have to talk about this meeting. What was all about this meeting?
I didn't realize that an education session that I did long back when Dhanush came up with the song of Kolavari will hit me back like this now. I think it is one of the great occasions that we are celebrating here. What I see is anybody who has come here on stage actually has made a phenomenal impact, right? Starting from the president or from the sergeant at arms to whoever has come today, everybody has made a tremendous impact. And one thing I think we should take from here, many things that we have heard, if you're a Toastmaster once, you should be a Toastmaster forever. I think this is a journey that you should have it for life. Many people come and ask me saying that you're a CEO of a company, how do you manage life? How do you manage Toastmasters and you do so many things? I say, I don't give my life to Toastmasters, I've given Toastmasters to life. And that is how it has to be taken. So if you have something which is very important in your life, other day when I was addressing in the school, they were asking me the same question. I told, while you will be focusing on your 12th standard on maths, physics, chemistry, but you also focus on English to pass somewhere, right? And similarly, have Toastmasters is something which you will definitely need to pass in life, and thereby it will be useful for you to take care of the other subjects as well. So I don't want to reveal the other topics. And thank you very much for being here. And as we cross the 675, maybe we'll look for the 700 meeting and we will have all of you again here. Thank you.
Candidly, remember when did you do the TMOD role in our club last time?
Oh, that's a tough question.
So we have next week the slot is.
For 2 more weeks. We'll take it offline.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you. The next. Next is for DTM Arun Sridhar sir. Okay, no problem. You can come. And what was the celebration? Please talk about that if you remember.
Clearly in the photo, although
clearly the photo, but I don't recall this particular event. Clearly, it's for Pongal. But good memories from this venue. I'll talk about the venue, right? How many of you were part of Toastmasters Wordsmith when we were at this venue? Right? Few people, Tower Club. And very good memories. I started in Wordsmiths in 2010 at this venue. It was the basement, and as Gopi Ramalingam once very eloquently said, in Wordsmiths, you have to go to the basement to come up in Toastmasters. Eloquently put, you have to go down to come up, kind of reference. So, because this was a basement venue, and our sponsors at the Tower Club were very kind, and they allowed us to be here for about 10 years, and great memories were made. And hopefully, Arun was saying that we are negotiating about going back. So once, if we go back, I think I'll be more regular than I am right now. So, looking forward to that.
So this is the topic which is on a screen is for Toastmaster Balaji. Come to the stage and talk.
Yeah, thanks for this wonderful opportunity. Oh, yeah, I need to see this one. So when you borrow a pen from a friend and see the same pen, oh my God, it's a very interesting topic. So it is more like what Toastmaster Anjana spoke. One of the famous topic is called Who Am I? Okay, something like the topic what I spoke about to speak about my icebreaker session at the same venue, but the universe transferred me to give a wonderful topic and speak here. I take this as a tribute and a preparation session as an icebreaker for me, second time in our own club. So who am I? I'm a normal person. I did my schooling in Chennai and especially in Tambaram, and from there I started. But over the years, I was in a jail for almost 6.5 years. Yes, I was in jail. You know what is toughest jail in the world?
Yes, mind.
You are the evaluator. You should. you were in the last club meeting. Sorry, you were rejected. Actually, please reject it. Actually, okay. you reveal the suspense. Okay. So that was the mind. The first word is not Atiha jail or any other jail. It's our own mind. I studied really good. I studied in College of Engineering, Hindi, and did really well. But mediocrity, slowly crept in because I was in comfort zone, getting back-to-back promotions. I work for the weekend, not for the work, for the pizzas, the biryanis, the raitas. Oh my God. So that was like that. And one fine day, right, I think slowly I get into this habit, and habit is, you know what? It's like social media. Once you get in, it's very hard to, escape. And to make things worse, right, I was thinking from manual testing, I should become a data scientist and machine learning engineer. Of course, I think it was 6 years job. I think how you see a lady, I think before marriage, later on we realize what is the thing, right? So it was like that. Then I realized, okay, why not? So, but I think the impact what I want to make is to impact billions of people in a positive way, right? So it's not about the money, but the mediocrity crept in. Oh my God, Balaji, will you do it? Balaji, from manual testing, how can you learn programming? So, sorry. Chaitanya, you're giving me jitters, yeah. Okay, so the story went on like that. Actually, then what I did is to make things work. I think in personal space, it was very tough for me, and where my wife had recognized with cancer, and it was tough. And from there, I think went on, and they told she can't become pregnant, and I'm a hard worker, right? So of course she got pregnant again. So fortunately, I think there are some complexities, and they had, I think, issues in the brain for my kid actually, and all the positives things and the belief. God's grace, I think it turned out a positive, and everything went well. So
But then these kind of things happening for me, and I just took massive actions like I took now. I just got an opportunity. I tried to encash it as to my Joey Thomas ma'am just gave a single Balaji, it is you. I think Dan, Angela, I should have done it. But I know things will come to me, I'll do it. So I can able to, I think quickly, I think adapt to a situation is one my strength. So yeah, I think I delivered icebreaker session in one of the most funniest way in the table topic. Thanks for this.
So now I would like to call Toastmaster Anandita for the next topic. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I think the topic kind of suits me because I'm really a VIP, very ignored person, very vetty person in my house. And that's what my parents would say. You can even ask my dad. I think like for the past 20 years or 21 years, take it however you want. Take it however you want. And the only person I think I've always been so free, so witty. So I'm doing nothing in my life, just ignored, doing what I want to do, and that has been quite fun, to be honest. But after I left, after a certain point of time, I think I got a little bit serious, and yeah, I think it's safe to say I'm not a very ignored person now. I think I'm a little bit aware, little bit. Going out and exploring, I really don't know what to talk about this. I mean, I'm a vanilla patadari, to be honest, that's it. Thank you. So, we are running out of time. And one last topic, I will just ask any guest who wants to volunteer. Anyone? Okay. This is your topic and you speak first.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for this wonderful topic. I'm not ironic here. It is truly indeed this is who I am. I'm doing work from home. I'm working at a startup based out of Bangalore. And every single meeting, I'm the only one who wouldn't turn on the video because I'll be on this nightie or no night dress, having the hair in the freestyle. And my Instagram profile, or no, if you see my LinkedIn profile, you look, I'm a genius, not exactly genius, but then a perfect professional for an app role like business development. But then if you come to my home, especially my friends will be like, really, Chitra, you are this. We expected a lot from you. And this is honest, let's be honest. We prefer convenience over showing off. And when it comes to work, I'm super focused and do not care what I look like. But then when it comes to very important meetings, I ensure that I dress up good and show myself better. So I never thought this would be the topic that I'll be talking about. And then it's so much fun to be here. And it is, a little off the topic. And I want to congratulate everyone for this milestone for 675. Because I'm from Government of Toastmasters side, I'm a newbie. I'm really happy to see some of the familiar faces. I'm from Zoho, ex-Zoho actually. So I'm running out of time. I do not want to take much of your time. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, everyone. And I hope you all enjoyed the table topic session and we had the fun. Thank you and over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shweta, for conducting that very funny table topic session. Next, let's deep dive into a quiz session conducted by DTM Reena ma'am, who is joining online. DTM Reena is a strategic HR consultant with over 20 years of experience. She has been a Toastmaster since 2012 and also an area director and division director. She won the Best Division Director Award for the year 2017 to 18 for District 82. She has served the club extension chef, first district chief judge of District 120 and its logistic manager last year. Over to DTM Reena ma'am. DTM Reena.
Thank you. Thank you, Nisha. Is my video disabled? Because I have enabled my video. The other one, co-host.
We can hear you. The video, I think, is disabled. We are not able to see you.
Okay, I'll come from the other device. Just a minute. Are we audible and visible now?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Perfect.
Okay. Can you hear me, Bala?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Alicia. This is the time for quiz. We thought what a better occasion to know about all of our Wordsmith president, but some of the presidents. All of them have excelled, exhiberated, and helped elevate Chennai Wordsmiths. Before we go, let's set the ground rules. There will be two clues given. When the question is asked, whichever answer is given first will be taken. If it's wrong, we will move to the final clue, beyond which I, the quiz master, will reveal the answer. A humble request, if you have already answered some question right or one question right, please give opportunity for others to also attempt. Nobody attempts, it's open to you also. It's going to be fun. And to help me in this, I've got Toastmaster Arun, who will help me share the photo of the presidents who we will be finding out shortly after I announce the answer. Are we all ready?
Yes.
This president is a certified mutual fund advisor and has 7 hobbies, including photography, visiting different countries. Who is this?
Toastmaster Karthikeyan.
Who answered?
Abhishek here.
Congratulations, Abhishek. You were right about it. It is invariably the tallest president of Wordsmiths till date, distinguished Toastmaster Karthikeyan. Big round of applause for Abhishek and distinguished Toastmaster Karthikeyan. That's Karthikeyan. The question 2. This president's favorite tourist spot is Ladakh and loves vada pav.
Nitya.
Okay, you can take it. Nitya, very good. I think many of you, Nitya, congratulations. Everybody knows you. And you know what was the second clue? She shares the name with the famous Godson. Nobody can beat that. So thank you. And was it Shweta who answered? Shweta, did you answer that?
Shweta answered him.
Hello.
Yeah, so congrats, Shweta and Part President Vidya. Okay, now let's move to the next. Next president was born in a temple town in Tamil Nadu and graduated from the Union Territory of Pondicherry.
It's our current president. It's our current president.
I'm not able to hear. Who?
It's our current president.
Current president's name is Chidambaram, right? Chidambaram.
Yes.
Okay, so we go to the next clue. This president is a criminal. Wait, criminal lawyer in the Chennai High Court. That is easy, right?
Maithili Shri. I mean, just.
Distinguished Toastmaster Maithili Srinivasan, who answered?
I took it from there with the lawyers. She's like in shock.
Who answered this?
50%. 50%. It has to be husband and
Yes, he is from Chidambaram. So somebody linked it to our current president Chidambaram. Very good. So that's Distinguished Toastmaster Maithili, one of the favorites of all Gaviliers in Chennai. The next president is a mechanical engineer who runs the family business.
Toastmaster Shruti.
Who answered?
Shruti. Aravind answering it.
Who?
Aravind.
Aravind. Well done, Aravind. And the next clue was, however, that the name is related to music. So, Suruthi, it is. Thank you, Suruthi, for being our president. And now, the fifth question. The president knows 5 languages and has visited 13 countries.
Narasimha.
What's the name? Okay.
TV Narasimha. TV Narasimha.
Okay, let's go to the next final clue. The second name of this president is part of a famous place in Chennai. I know this president is going to kick me. The second name of this president is part of a famous place in Chennai.
Dr. Abdul Kalam.
Whoever is guessing, please, this is presidents of past presidents of Chennai Wordsmiths Club, not India. I think our members should be guessing this. Okay, let me answer the second clue. You know St. Thomas Mount?
I'm Ramanujan.
Don't kill me. The first lady president of Wordsmiths, that's Toastmaster Jyoti Thomas. So sorry, but at least people are coming to know about you. Jyoti Thomas, our beautiful Jyoti Thomas, the first lady president of Chennai Wordsmiths. Can we have a picture, please?
I truly couldn't recognize myself.
Yeah. She's visited 13 countries. And Thomas is St. Thomas Mount, you know. I'm sorry. Okay, so now let's move to the next president.
What is 5 languages and 30 countries?
Let's see. Shall we go to the next question? Is there some okay, I'm going to the next question. This president is highly experienced in project management and has 2 sons.
Arun Siddhar.
Fantastic. Who answered? Who answered? of the group answered, is it? And the second clue was share name with two members of Wordsmiths, which is Arun Kumar and Sridhar. So this is our process guru, distinguished Toastmaster Arun Kumar Sridhar. May we have his picture, please? The picture when he was studying in school, I believe. Oh no, he was a pager. He has Toastmasters. Thank you, Arun. Thank you, Arun. This president is an IT professional who has worked in China, USA, Bali, and Switzerland. No answers? I'm sure you will get this one. A die-hard fan of MS Dhoni.
Arun Kumar.
Yeah, Arun Kumar, who is supporting me now. Who answered?
Arun Sridhar. No, you answered.
Arun Sridhar.
That's our answer. Toastmaster Arun Kumar. This president is the youngest president of Wordsmiths and loves dogs.
The one who was a VIP. Anandita.
No, I think 100% of the crowd is saying the answer yes, she is the youngest president of Wordsmiths. Thank you so much, Anandita, and congratulations to all the words that you answered. All the audience members you answered. Beautiful, Anandita. And this is our last question for today for water time. This president is a dosa lover and whose favorite movie is Vikram 2. I know difficult. I know it's. This should be easy. This president is a certified black belt in league. Yes, I think 50% of the crowd answered it because you read it recently. Very good. Let's have the picture of distinguished person, Balamurugan. Thank you so much, Arun, for the support rendered in showing, sharing the pictures of all the presidents. I thoroughly enjoyed collecting all these facts. Hope you also enjoyed this quiz about our past presidents who have been. I think there are 30 presidents, so lot of time. These are the presidents that we have showcased today. Thank you so much, and over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, DTM Reena, and I'll have to say you that you in fact have filled the room with laughter, and we in fact have brought out all the childiness, and this took me back to those childhood days when our hands would go in search of the buzzer to tell the first answer, who was the first person who would answer the question. So you brought out all the childhood memories and took us down the trip down memory lane. The next of the sessions we will have, and we in fact have been rolling on, and we in fact have been having a fabulous ride to make the occasion much more special. We will have the award ceremony, and this is going to be done by a person who is the past president of our. Okay, I'm sorry. So we will have the evaluation of the speech done by Anjana, and the evaluator for the speech will be DTM Arun Sridhar. And after that, we will have the award ceremony. Thank you.
Toastmasters, yes. And Toastmaster Anjana in particular. I must say that all the nervousness that you had before the speech was, when we were talking, is all completely unfounded. I think given, as you said, you are an extrovert, And given the fact that you are used to public speaking, you are into marketing and all that, that really clearly showed, right? Your body language is very positive. I really liked your expressions on the stage and your comfort level. And you asked me to look in particular about the speech structure. I felt it was very sequential, very well structured. It was, you started from your birth and give us a very good sense of who you are as a person. And we got to know you, which is the objective of the icebreaker speech, is that we get to know you and we are able to work with each other after the speech. So we really got a good sense of it. And the script was also very well written. I had some interesting anecdotes and humor and all that. So that was very good. For your next speech, here would be my suggestion. Please do not use notes. You don't have to bring notes. I think you don't refer to them at all for most of the speech. So you don't have to bring the notes. Work with your mentor, write down the script and practice the whole speech. Especially memorize the introduction and conclusion. Because I felt when you came in, you were slightly, a little bit more nervous than you were in the middle and the end. So what helps is memorizing the introduction. I would say go ahead and memorize it. Some people don't say memorize it, but getting it memorized 20, 25 times, especially the intro and conclusion. Intro because you're nervous in the beginning. Conclusion because at any point when you see the answer, you have to be ready to conclude. So memorize those two things. Other than that, as I said, you have excellent strengths to work with. As an extrovert, you have little less work than some of the others, some of us. So as I said, you can take those strengths and work with them. And if you work on the scripting, work with your mentor and practice it, I think you will take it on the next level. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for the precise feedback, and it did cut to the points that as an ice-breaking speaker would want to know. And I would now call upon DTM Mohanakrishnan, and we have a little memento to be presented as a token of gratitude, and then we will move on to the back end of the session. And to give away the memento, I would now request our past president, Toastmaster Nitya, to be on the stage. Okay, the meeting has been going great guns, and we in fact have come up to the fag end of the session. So we will have a good climax of all the things that has happened so far. We will have, or we would have to end on a good note. And we have this award ceremony, which is going to be making things much more fabulous, special, and whatnot. And to host this session, we will have our, again, immediate past president, Toastmaster Nitya. And to share a few words about her, she is a homemaker by choice and a Toastmaster for past 10 years. And she has taken up various XCOM roles during the past 10 years. She also has been an YLP coordinator, a mentor team member for Indian School Gavel Club in Oman, Muscat. Traveling to Himalayas gives her strength and feeds her soul. I may now request everyone to give her a huge round of applause and to take us through the award ceremony. Thank you.
Good evening, dear Toastmasters and all the wonderful guests. It's my privilege and my pleasure to present the awards for today. And these are the members of our club who have brought in so much of exuberance, excellence and elevation to the club. And we are all inspired by these members. So first, I would be calling on the members to come forward and take the award. First, I would like to call Toastmaster Jyoti. She's been presented the award for winning the Triple Crown and also for completing her pathways in persuasive influence. Please give a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Jyoti. Congratulations. The next person to win this awards are Toastmaster Bindu. She has won the Triple Crown Award as well as completed her pathways in presentation mastery. So please give a huge round of applause, and I think she is online. So if we can spotlight Bindu and congratulate her.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Toastmaster Bindu, and we hope to present your award at the next meeting when you are in person. Please give a round of applause for Toastmaster Bindu. The next person who has won Triple Crown Award is Toastmaster Shaji Chandi. If he is online, please spotlight him also.
No.
Okay. The other people who have also completed their pathways is Toastmaster Anandita for Innovative Planning. Please give a big round of applause for Toastmaster Anandita. Congratulations. The other persons now, we are going to also congratulate Toastmaster Suruti for being the district level contestant in Evaluation Contest 2022. If she's online, we can spotlight her and give her a good round of applause. I guess she's not online. The next person we want to congratulate and applaud and present our memento is Toastmaster Arun Kumar for being the YLP coordinator. Please give a good round of applause. So I think with that, we have completed the awards presentations, all the winners. There's one more thing we would like to inform you all. We are going to plan the speech craft. So if you all are interested, please sign up for the speech craft. You can be the coordinator. It will help you to get the award for the DTM, and it will help you in achieving the DTM path. So please come forward and volunteer for it. With that, I would like to hand over the control back to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nitya. So these are probably the moments which everyone would want to be cherishing and recollecting in their point in life. We now have come to almost the end of the session, and the captain of the ship, as we would call, the captain who had in fact been the tireless hands of the captain, which had worked and had given us an excellent meeting today. And we would want to hear from our president, current president, Chidambaran, some closing comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bala. I'd like to take this opportunity to once again thank our district trio members, our immediate past president, our distinguished Toastmaster, Neena ma'am, and our other past presidents of Chennai Wordsmiths Club and fellow Toastmasters and guests who are having come here. As mentioned by all the speakers here, it is by practice and by encouragement of the members who are on the other side that each one of us who comes to the stage becomes a better speaker, a better version. So we definitely would urge all of the members to actually make it a habit to continuously be on the run, to make sure you hone your skills continuously, and together we can learn. So with that, I'd like to officially adjourn the meeting 675, the milestone meeting of our Chennai Wordsmiths Club at the strike of 6. I think closing it right. So as promised by Jyoti Thomas ma'am, we are closing it on the right. So we will have the next meeting on next Saturday, which will be on 16th. So we will be sharing the details, and for the roll call, we'll be reaching out to the members. Thank you. Thank you for your time, and wish you a great week ahead. We will have the celebrations of the milestone meeting now. So I request our district trio members, our immediate past president, Meena ma'am, and our area director, and the past presidents of Chennai Wordsmiths Club to come onto the stage. We'll have a cake cutting, and we have refreshments after that. Thank you. Of course, I think this session doesn't get over without the photo that we are going to cherish and use it for the quiz on 700 or 1000 location. So we'll have few photos taken as well. Thank you. So we'll have the photos taken first, and then. Yeah. Okay.
For a formal picture with DT. Me and the team.
Where are you going to take it? On stage or off the stage? Why not take the stage? It's already decorated.
So many cameras, you don't know which. So all sides you're being clicked. Somebody take this. Thank you. Yeah, let's go. Oh, lucky it's all people. No, we can't see you. Now we can. Save money. Wordsmiths can use it.
You want to take biryani?
No biryani, only money.
So that you have to offer us, come as to offer us the biryani. Yeah, sir, okay.
He comes all the way just for biryani. Yeah, let us all take. Why are you taking the members out?
Yeah.
You can stand there, we'll just stand in front. Don't worry, just come closer, it's fine. No. Or take a selfie, is it? We'll-
Come.
No, we can just stand.
All of you come.
Come.
All members.
Yes,
Sir. We'll make you a member. Come, that is the idea.
It's a membership drive.
Yeah, no problem. Abhishek, you also have
If you are young and agile, you can go on and leave.
You can pay the fees today.
Come here. Anybody tall, come here. Come, Jina, all of you come here. Never mind. Come. Then after we push up you. Everybody is going to be a prospective member. We know how to. This is proof. It's proof.
There's a lot of mobiles we have.
Who's taking that over? What person? All of them are very young.
Smile, please.
You don't try that. No way, I can't get up.
Please smile. Do you mind taking?
Just. I have to check that picture also. That's my phone. You won't be able to. It's not on. You don't know where. Okay.
Everyone
say
Inji.
As long as we don't have to dance.
Say Inji.
Panji.
Just wait there.
Yeah. We need it on that iPhone.
What about him?
Oh, cake. I thought he's getting the iPhone. But this is when we keep the sex so maybe some can stand down. Yes, take a picture of the cake. No, we can hold it. The chair will be a mess. No, just leave it. Bring it over. Yes.
I take it.
Looks like he's a pro, Mr. Angie.
Give it to the newest member.
The newest member or the prospective newest member?
Come in.
Who came first? Bala or Anjana?
Come.
They've seen too many cakes. They've never seen anything. Bala, don't get too proud. Come on, come here for my school.
He's too shy right now.
Never mind. You don't take the cake. We'll take it.
Actually, you're inspiring us, right? So I think you're supposed to do it.
Cut with everybody. Cut them off. Come. The today. Who is anti-chocolate here? Meena, are you anti-chocolate? You can't. Okay, here you go. Giving you my heart in chocolate.
So that the entire team will be.
Thank you all the senior DTMs and big biggies and everybody for being here. All the VIPs. And you know what? And big shot. Thank you. So much. So good to see you this morning. We haven't got too many opportunities to see him this close. Is everybody feeling shy today? You come all the time. Come on. Give it to everybody. Okay. Put some
Recent news.
Hey, you took selfie with them. You see? Thank
Say in 10 minutes will be.
You made a 2-in-1 speech. Even topic from your icebreaker.
Between like and I also started following
I'm just keeping it.
I hope all should I read? Or was it in silent mode? Rather, it's sitting. Oh, Akshay. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yes.
expect it to be declared. Today I'm still learning. Sometimes they ask me to do something. That's all. It's me. Really, I don't know. We have just now I went into this. I didn't hear it with first speech. I should go to recording and listen.
I think I didn't. But on the player, what is he getting? I couldn't see you. I didn't hear it. Why not do something?
Yeah, you were off the topic. I was actually trying to connect what you were telling and the picture I was seeing. But then I couldn't connect. And then that's when I realized you're telling your own story. It was so kind of moving to be honest. Is it child of here?
Everything is all right. I mean, too short. So I think I just push me.
Seven people. Man, congratulations.
I'm an orange.
You pardon me. I know.
It depends on a team actually. Across the decade, I'm trying to build the ability. I'm trying to invite some leadership skills there and apply that. That's what to retain the team. Now she was talking about pandemic situation, how we go out in meetings. People are not turning on the camera. It's the exact situation which you are. Either you have to present it in this way or we don't. We just know what
I think once you have to,
that's what. Even I'm ready to sponsor in-person meet with a lot of teammates. They're not willing to come. My freshers are not to come. My team is not. Even myself, if I join.
No, expectations is something.
Yeah. Luring them into things. No.
They have a lot of opportunity. Yeah.
Technology and the innovations are coming up, and what do you expect us to do? Suppose we try to track it up, whatever needs to be.
No.
This was a platform to understand different perspectives. That's why if you
It's a sense out of self-esteem. Yeah, no matter what you do, when someone steals something, someone steals money, like, who am I? I'm very close to my topic. I'm philosophy. So we look at it and then think, oh my God, so I just trying to connect it all.
You're not part of this company.
As a first challenge from this, I should be I usually take.
So have you joined? Actually, what you doing?
Oh my God.
Have you joined?
I have.
Could you please pronounce?
Oh,
Yeah, I know. A lot of people having difficulty.
I know some Shavatra.
Okay, first one, it would be even more weirdo.
Shavatra.
It's like Pavitra, just add Shav. I'm actually new.
Okay, I just want 1 week back.
I just joined.
Okay, 1 week, 1 or 2 weeks. Into this club.
I mean, yeah.
It's saving your capacity. I just
And everyone just turned off their video. It was so embarrassing. Me and Bala and one more person. Everyone turned off.
I forgot my laptop. So I was trying to do all these things. Online,
Anybody's bags are kept over there, then
I spoke to the people, like I asked a question.
What's your problem? I didn't see you. Oh, yes. Yeah, wait.